and then I have one replica.
You know, it was funny, like, with the whole Galaxy's Edge thing. You know how, like, well, I want to go so bad, but now you can't right now.
Yeah.
But they were talking about now with the whole, like, oh, build your own lightsaber. Like, a long time ago, before Disney owned Lucasfilm, they still had, like, a Star Wars ride and stuff, like, when I was, like, 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was like a motion ride thing. Yeah, I remember that.
And I made a lightsaber there, like, way before
they had that?
Yup. I don't know why or how.
I think they did. I remember your.
So that's why, like, they're making a big deal about, like, oh, now you can, like, make your own lightsaber. I'm like,
it's like, bitch, it's always been here.
Yeah. I remember it was, like, the bottom of, like, Obi-Wan's, but it was, like, green because of Luke, and it was, I don't know.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was
okay.
Cool.
Bro, that's lit. I really want to go there and actually build my own lightsaber and shit.
Me too. That'd be really cool.
I hope everything starts opening up.
Do you want water, by the way, before we start?
I'm okay for right now. Why, you think I'm gonna need some?
No, I was just wondering because I also have water over there, and I just felt like I felt like a bad host.
A bad host. Don't make me fucking vibe check you with it.
Yeah, I would have had to get vibe checked on my own podcast.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whose it is.
Yeah.
If John,
like,
even if John's a welder, like, he turns around, the hammer just claps him anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it's got a lot of
I might have to vibe check myself
YouTube.
at some points.
You can't be totalitarian rulers over here, guys.
No, everybody gets the same. Fucking Eric trying to make this a communist community.
Yeah, bro. Oh, you had to kick him out.
Who was that?
Eric, he tried to make us into a fucking socialist.
Oh.
Yeah, he tried to make us into some fuck shit that we don't need that.
Yeah. Fuck that shit.
I was being a dictator, and he was calling it a communist. But what he was saying he wanted was communism.
Yeah,
so
it's just like, bro, what are you talking about? But yeah, so let's start this shit. So, welcome, motherfuckers. No, no.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Welcome to the Wrath of Aquarius. Yo, we almost just fell over and died.
Trying to grab the mask off.
Yeah, so welcome to the Wrath of Aquarius podcast. We do episodes Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Today, we have special guest Alex Bordonaro over here.
Hello, hello.
And we also have our hosts, Matthew Sicilia.
Raynis.
And Johnny Boy Burnup.
And Big Booty Burnup, the almighty Big Booty Turn Up the Third.
Turn Up the Third.
Yeah. Bro, that's been his
3 generations of turn-ups.
Yes. Yeah, literally 3 generations of big-ass booties and turn-ups.
Booty turn-ups.
Yeah.
Nah, you gotta picture a big-ass booty on a turn-up.
I'm imagining it right now, actually. Yeah, you, dude, and I'm gonna, like, put the Islander tattoos and shit like that, too, in the Vader one. Yeah. Yo.
All on the buttocks.
I'm gonna do that.
The turn-up, or...
Oh, shit, should I put it on the ass cheeks?
I mean, the big booty. I mean,
Yeah, you could.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, like
Making the...
Nicki Minaj or like Cardi B's ass and Photoshop it onto it.
You just blew my mind.
Whoa.
I'm doing this after the podcast. I'm gonna listen to this later tonight while I'm editing, and I'm gonna be making it. Alex is so scared right now. He's like, "What the fuck is it? What did I just walk into?"
You gotta go through a little bit of like minute or 5 minutes of bullshit before you can actually like
exactly.
pond on in there. Yeah,
it's to clear out all the energy.
Especially like you don't want to just jump right on in there, and the viewer's gonna be like, "Oh, big booty turn-ups," and then we're gonna be like talking about today's topics and just
because today's topic is actually kind of a little bit heavy. So
it's all serious.
Yeah,
a lot more serious.
A lot more
serious. More serious.
We're growing. We're evolving. We're was just scooching away. He's like, "Get me the fuck out of here."
How do you know?
Just choked on my blast.
But yeah, so today's topic: avoiding toxicity in family and in life. So, yeah.
Toxicity is everywhere.
It is.
Yeah, it doesn't affect no genders, no age, no nothing. It's just, unless you have a baby that's very toxic, which they could be.
Toxic baby.
Very manipulative.
Baby.
But in the sense of toxicity, it really just depends on the other person as well. How toxic are they?
Yeah.
Do they want to work with the person, or do they want to
just be narcissistic and just keep fucking doing whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
Alex is just holding back right
Yeah,
now.
of course,
He's like,
of course,
I can't wait to pop off
so
right
that,
now.
that is, I guess we can segue into what you wanted to say about it. Also, it does come from age too. If you're younger, you're just viewed as toxic, but like everyone else is like, no, I'm just trying to grow, like, and be like you. So, Alex, I'll take it to you.
Well, one of the things that I'm struggling with right now is the toxic people in your life that you want to change, and you can't force change onto other people, and coming to terms with the fact that some people are just toxic
and just stuck in their ways.
Change. You know, you might very well be the better person. More likely than not you are, but you know, it's hard when you expect someone to be better because you want better for them. Yeah. And you want what's best for them. But there's only so much you're able to do with like trying to pick someone up. And you know, not that the onus is on you or that you feel like you're responsible for them not getting where you think they need to be, but you know, it's something you got to grapple with you know, kind of getting stuck. So
getting stuck in toxic is just toxic in general, and we're gonna say toxic a lot. So
take a shot every time that we say toxic.
Already be fucked.
Yeah, because they're already drunk.
Because that'll turn someone who is not toxic like yourself to being toxic. Because then what happens is you start off being a hopeful, optimistic person, expecting the best in people, and when you're let down and disappointed enough times, it slowly starts to rub off on you to the point where you start questioning the morals that you've been preaching. Yeah. And you start to doubt, you know, is that attainable? Is it sustainable? You know, am I able to achieve that type of character that I'm expecting that person to achieve? And the more that they don't, the less hope you have in not just their ability to get better and be more positive, but in your own ability and everyone else's universally.
Yeah, it's like you can't. The thing is that, like, what I learned is that. The thing that I learned. Toxic. Shit. I'm gonna have to cut that out. But,
I don't know. That's a great segue. What you're talking about, so Matt. So what?
When everything is falling down, you just gotta move shit out of the way.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Wow, that was actually.
Make your own path.
Yeah, make your own path.
Exactly. You don't. So what were you saying?
Yeah, but pretty much what I was gonna say was that, like, you can only give people so many chances before, like, you just kind of give up, because, like, we all want to, like, be there for people and just kind of, like, help heal them and stuff, but we also got to realize that that's not our job to do. No. It's just that we kind of just got to, like, step out of the way and just kind of, like, live our own life and just kind of do what's best for ourselves, because we're just going to keep getting bogged down and just get stuck in that toxic cycle. And then what you said, we're just going to become people that we don't want to be.
Right.
And that's not who we are truly as people.
Right.
And then you're just like, am I really this way? Fuck. Like, I don't know. You just got to, like, learn how to, like, step away from it and just like, kind of, like, heal yourself. And then also you can come back to it later, because you might also learn a couple of more lessons when you move away and stuff, and you get to look at it at a better perspective, and you're like, oh shit, this is what it actually is, instead of, like, me getting, like, so blinded by everything. And
on that point of being blinded, you know, I know I've talked to you about this, especially in our recent friend group. You grow up thinking you know what you want your social life to be, as well as your family life to be. You know, and again, we could talk about society and how it kind of teaches us to think that we need certain things in life. That's a whole other conversation. Right. Yeah. But, you know, you grow up and, you know, you start, for example, like a wedding, right? You live your whole life thinking to yourself, like, who's my best man going to be? You know what I'm saying? Like, who am I need to have friends in my life. You start to have this preconceived notion of what normal looks like as it pertains to a social life with friends as well as a family life. And, you know, when things start to not go as planned, you start to compromise your own values sometimes. It's hard, but sometimes that just naturally happens, and you start to lower your standards, both with family and with friends, and you start putting up with a lot of crap that you shouldn't have to. and maybe it's desperation, maybe it's like a defense mechanism that you don't want to be without anything, so you put up with crap, as a way of just being able to say that you have something, even if that something is garbage.
Yeah. It's like it's better to be alone than to be dealing with toxic people and shit.
Getting to that point is difficult.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Because, like you said, you gotta, like, get past all that shit. It's like, it's like I'd rather be alone and be my genuine self and just kind of, like, be okay than just to be surrounded by people that just don't accept me for who I am.
Yeah.
Just, like, just constantly dealing with that, like, low-key judgment. Because it does affect you and it does rot you over time. And then you're just like, why do I feel so shitty? It's just like, oh, it's because I don't have a solid group of people around me that actually accept me.
Including when you're trying to act. I mean, it could be like subconsciously too when you start trying to act different to fit in with certain groups of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you like say, I mean, like I don't have that many friends. Like this is literally my friend group right here. But, like I've seen people that, you know, they have several different friend groups, and in each group they're like acting different.
Yep.
And it's just you got to be yourself, you know.
Yeah. It goes into the whole other person that we know. But
oh god, I don't know. There's just so much drama.
yeah.
I feel it.
We're not going to do them dirty like that, though.
Yeah, we can't do them dirty, but we can.
No name dropping.
Yeah, no name dropping, but we can do
Sorry,
We'll
examples.
do an alias. We'll do like Richard.
Yeah, Richard, aka Dick.
I didn't even do it for that reason.
Yo.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like certain people that just kind of like are pretty. It's like low-key toxic. They don't mean to be like toxic, but it is a toxic trait. It's like they kind of like flip-flop between.
You're talking about conforming to the people that they're around?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
From Hopefully.
it's like, you know.
Your whole
Fuck,
life
how do I
is an
say-
act.
Yeah.
Your whole
Yeah,
life
yeah,
is
yeah.
a show.
Yeah.
You know, I have to tell you, there was this. There was one story. I was in Europe for 4 months, and my roommate, he is of Hispanic descent, and he is from Sag Harbor.
Oh,
Right.
I know that.
So the guy whose name I will not disclose,
Richard.
Well, yeah, we'll just use Richard for all these people.
Richard squared.
He lives out in Sag Harbor, which is, for all intents and purposes, the Hamptons. Okay, he comes from a very privileged life. But he goes to school in Queens, St. John's. And, you know, we attract a very diverse student body, a lot of which come from New York City. And not every neighborhood in New York City is as privileged. I know, I don't use that word often. But,
No, I get exactly what you're saying.
But, you know, a lot of my friends are from the Bronx, for example, and they don't live in a nice neighborhood and whatnot. So we go to Europe, and this guy, he's trying, because then, not to be stereotypical in any way, but, you know, he was trying to conform with other people who were Hispanic, who were just naturally, and that's a whole other conversation, that, like, people who are of similar ethnic backgrounds just gravitate towards each other without anyone telling them to.
Right.
But he would be hanging out with them, and he's trying to put on this act like he's some, like, ghetto,
Oh yeah.
you know, like, whatever. And I'm like, dude, like, you're walking around with Tim boots, you have a North Face backpack.
Yeah, you're the most.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, and
No, I
it's
hate
just
that.
like, stop trying to pretend like you're a piece of shit, because you're not.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Just trying to act gangster in general, I feel like it's so fucking stupid, regardless of who you are.
they're trying to compensate for something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, who the
if-
fuck are you trying to impress?
Yeah.
though?
Yeah, that's the thing. They're trying to impress people. So
Yeah, it's just like, just
You
be
don't give a
yourself
fuck.
and just get the type of friend groups that, like, you just naturally flow with instead of, like, who
Yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
conform to.
that's funny actually, because what was I? Fuck. It was like some random YouTube video that popped up. I forget who it was. It was some metal musician. And it was a pretty old video, and it was like I guess a black kid wrote him a note being like, you know, I'm a metalhead or whatever. I like playing guitar, but every other, you know, like his father, every other black person in his life was like pretty much telling him he was different. Like he's not a real, you know, like he wasn't a part of their group and stuff.
Right.
And it was making him not act different, but it was making him different, and it was just like fucking him up because everyone was just trying to be like, oh, you're supposed to act this way, you're supposed to act this way.
Well, that's
like
like,
everyone's gonna be their own person.
well, that's like when people say,
It's like just be yourself.
Yeah.
And
you
just
shouldn't
try
have
to like
yeah,
not.
exactly. Just be yourself. You don't have to act like anything or anyone.
yeah.
And if people can't, again, if people don't like who you actually are, then you're fucking talking to the wrong people.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when toxicity comes in.
And then it's crazy because then when you are presented with someone who's not toxic, you're like, you know,
You're just
like,
so
what
baffled,
the
and then
hell?
you're
You
just
don't
like,
know if you could trust them or
You're,
not.
you know,
Yeah.
you're like,
100% on that trust thing though.
yeah.
Because like I'm having a hard time because I've actually have a healthy like relationship in my life, and it's like, but I mean relationship, I mean just like relationship in general. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But like it's nice because it's like holy shit, like
He's like, you like me for who I am?
yeah, like you know, like
it's
you
like
want to
a
know
boost.
me,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
and the funny thing is this
Right.
whole situation that just occurred before, like I just realized when you guys were talking, I've given up on the person that was that at right there. Like I've actually genuinely like had high hopes that they were going to be doing the right and be like, okay, clearly I'm being stubborn and I dropped it, but it was more of like I'm being petty because I'm still upset that you're not seeing it in the bigger picture.
And at a certain point, it becomes a you problem.
Exactly. Now it's a me problem.
Right.
So it's like, okay, you know, it happened a while ago, but it built her up in time, especially when repressed and all that and stuff
Yeah.
like that, because that's the best way to deal with things, to repress things. That's sarcastic.
the best and worst.
But
Yeah,
that works for me.
it's the best.
If you take out of this podcast that repress your feelings and that works, I'm all for it. But don't do it.
It's like, but don't do
But
that.
don't do
It's
it.
good-
It's not
to
good.
let you- It's
Like,
good
It's
to
the
let your
best-
emotions
It's the
out.
best and the worst.
Yeah,
Because you forget about it, it's whatever,
yeah.
you move on, but then like,
It's a
like
balance,
you
I
said, years
find.
later.
it is a balance.
It's a balance.
Yeah.
Because,
Balancing toxicity.
you know, yeah.
I think as long as you can slowly let it out over time. Like,
Letting it. Balancing toxicity.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the name?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
There we
That
go.
was it. Lit. But yeah, what were you saying? You're saying that letting it out slowly over time.
yeah. Because like, at least me personally, I mean, like I've had, like we've talked and shit, and obviously I'm sure you guys have talked, we've all fucking talked or whatever, and it's good to have that little bit get out over time but, you know, some people repress it to the point where they don't let it out at all.
Yeah.
They just really like fucking chews away at their insides, and it just like, it's like a tree, like it'll look like perfect from the outside, but it's all rotten on the inside and just fucking soft and falling apart and shit.
Fucking termites.
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
some termites in your system.
Yeah.
Toxic termites.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex is like, I understand.
No, that was an ad because like
Another rat.
no, because you know it's all right. So, you know, I got family shit going on, and it's funny because to that point I've become very good, and it's a skill that I've spent the last 21 years of my life perfecting, of putting up a wall and closing yourself off
Yeah.
and repressing, because you know in that moment that's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
It just is. You know, you don't want people to see you vulnerable like that.
Yeah.
Even-
But being vulnerable is the
absolute-
biggest strength and stuff
absolutely,
like that as well.
but finding that takes a long time, and I completely forgot what I was gonna say.
You're saying about repressing your stuff and just building up walls and
Yes.
not letting-
So people in my life, my parents, you know, they would be so quick to be like, you know, oh, you know, you have no empathy, you have no, you know, you don't feel anything for anyone,
Yeah.
and I'm like, no, that's not the case.
Perspectives change.
You know, my sister had a lot of medical shit. She was in the hospital for like a month and a half, and while that was all going on, I was like very Vulcan about it. And
I have no emotions. That is very illogical.
that?
Very jaded.
You know, and it could be misconceived as being like, I don't care, or I don't support you, or I'm not
Yeah.
feeling anything, when in reality it's just you don't want to like see me express what I'm feeling, because it'll rub off on everyone in the room. And again, you know,
Yeah,
you
it's
can
like I don't
make-
want to splurge everybody
you know,
at that
you
moment.
don't want
It's
to,
the
and that's
wrong
another.
time.
That's a whole bigger thing. You just don't want to drag people into your shit.
Yeah.
And when you start opening up, now your problem becomes everybody else's problem, and I don't want to burden anyone else with having to coddle me.
Yeah.
You can always deal with it yourself until you can't. That's when you need to ask for help. That's when
Yeah.
you cannot
Yeah.
cannot
Yep.
fix it yourself. That's when you call. But like you can take a lot of damage before you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
before you can actually talk to somebody.
Yeah.
And
No.
that's what it is. Like you're just
Well,
like
and,
okay.
It's
like-
because you think you're invincible. You think you can take it all.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
but,
then,
but that's the bad side of it. But it seems like you're putting up a front just to seem like okay right now.
But then what happens is when you let it out, you know, it gets to the point where you forget how to let it out.
yeah.
So then it's just like these very random
Outbursts.
triggers
Yeah.
Yeah.
that you wouldn't think would get you to like just let it out.
Yeah.
It's in the moment.
It's just so in the moment that you're like I would not have let out everything because of this one thing being said or whatever, but in that moment, it's just that one pin in the right spot that just,
Yeah, it's the straw
Yeah.
that broke the camel's back.
You know,
it's just like
it
over
was
time,
just-
it just kept building up and building up. That one thing was just like, and then
you know, it
Oh,
was just, it
breaks.
was one of those things. So, an example, recently, it was the night before I went to go meet with my mom, and I was at her house, my girlfriend, and we were talking about it of, you know, what's the game plan? What are you trying to get out of? Because that's an important thing. If you have shit going on with someone and then you're gonna meet with them, you want to know what you want to get out of that.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
are you meeting your mom or like
My mother.
So
Yeah.
you're meeting your mother. So like, or have you just not been with her? I just unfortunately don't know a little bit.
Well, they kicked me out of the house.
Okay.
And that
You're
was
in
the
the same
apartment that. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
While I
That's
was-
a whole
that's-
very
so-
long
No, I
story.
just
to kind of give you some context.
Give me some context.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
'Cause I
yeah.
didn't know if like you know, all of a sudden adoption like
No,
you
no,
know
no.
like that. There, I just
No.
watched a movie, Instant
Yeah.
Family, great movie. So I don't want it to be like that. But so you went to meet your mom
Right.
after
It's actually
this
a sponsorship.
all
Right.
Okay.
So there is substance abuse. There is alcoholism.
The stuff there.
There are things there. Those issues that I have with my mother are unrelated to me having been thrown out of the house. That was separate.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, here's just another reason to not talk to you because of this, that, or the other thing. And so she had not talked to me for like 3.5 months. And, you know, I left the ball on her side of the court. And I was like, when you're ready to apologize for anything that you've done or any of the damage that you've caused this family, I'm like, you let me know and we'll meet.
Yeah.
And it took her 3.5 months to finally say, if you're ready for an adult conversation. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, like, you
I'm
can't
like,
switch it
no,
up. Yeah, push
don't
it
put
back.
yourself on the moral high ground. It just took you this long to swallow your
Yeah,
pride
exactly, yeah.
to finally come to the table. So whatever.
Just to throw it back up.
So
Yeah.
in that moment, I'm like, well, now I can't be a hypocrite. I have to meet her.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
quite frankly, I wasn't ready because I didn't know what I wanted from her or out of that potential meeting. I had no idea. So I went to her house and I was talking to her about everything. And I'm like, I don't really know what I want. I really don't. And the thing that got me to just like explode was I was recounting the times in my life where she was supportive. Because that's the other thing is like, you know, and if any of you have been through a breakup, you know this, like it's not all bad, right?
Yeah.
There are parts of it that are amazing that you don't want to forget.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, if I'm going to potentially cut this person out of my life for the very distant future, you know, you want to make sure that it's the right decision, and you start questioning yourself because you take a trip down memory lane and you start thinking like, you know what, there were good times, and you know, am I looking at this the wrong way?
What's that called? What's that called? It's with the high school. No, that's when you start looking back on things and it's
Doubt?
really well.
Like
No,
nostalgia?
Oh, take
No.
a trip down memory lane.
No,
Kind of?
it's something like that, but it's something that's syndrome. When you go into high school and you really want to leave, you start thinking about it and you're like, wow, this is really nice. You start questioning, was it really all that bad?
Right.
And you start questioning
Right.
yourself and you start like doubting your
Right.
actually well-being on that. And I'm
It's
assuming,
hindsight.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what's.
Yeah.
So all the time she supported you.
Right.
like,
So now, because now I'm gonna meet up with her. I have since, but
Okay.
at the time
Okay.
I was gonna meet up with her, and this was the night before, and I'm just like, what am I doing? Am I level-headed? Like, am I making the right call by planning to say and do what I was planning on saying and doing?
Yeah, it's like, am I just
And
gonna get stuck in survival mode and say some random shit I don't mean, or
like I was
anger and stuff.
like for example, like if you were physically abused, that's a very easy decision to make, right? I was being physically abused and I want to escape that.
Yeah.
Right.
That is a very black and white thing.
Yeah.
But when it was never that kind of toxicity, it's a very gray thing.
Yeah.
Because
Emotional abuse is still
it's-
abuse.
and I know you've put things on your story where you mention this type of stuff where it can come from different ways. It can come from different avenues of how you feel that way.
Yeah.
And so whatever, and so I was recounting all these times that my mother had been supportive, and she was like, well, what didn't she do this, or was it because of her career path that she was doing that for you? And I was like, no. And I mentioned my dad, like, oh no, my dad was the one who would like be up my ass with something else. And like in that moment, I was just like, it just all came apart, because now in that moment, I'm like, no, that was way back when my dad was the asshole. And now I'm going to go meet up with my mom and call her an asshole. So like in that moment, I just felt so alone. And I think that's what did it.
Yeah.
Where you just get a sense of like having no place.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. And I never thought that would have like caused me to like freak out the way I did. But yeah.
It's a big thing to do.
It's fucking crazy, man. Like,
I mean, including when you're repressing a lot of shit, it's very hard to just go in and let it loosely come out.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. Yeah, no, I was, and you know what I'm talking about. She was like, do you think your mom was only having your back with the surgeries because of her position and with the influence that she had?
yeah.
And I'm like, no, she actually had my back with that. Because my dad was the one who would make all the fat jokes and the this and the that and whatnot. And so I'm like, no. I'm like, there was a long time where she was my rock. And it was flipped.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. And I think this might be a guy thing. A lot of times us guys, we're like mama's boys when we're younger. And then as we get older and we grow into men, we start to kind of identify
You feel the
more
other
with our
way,
father
yeah.
figure. So that's another thing. But
Me just being
I
like,
don't know.
I didn't have a dad, I don't know. But
I was about to say.
yeah, I was just like a...
well, yeah, and that's another thing too that
College.
and that's
so can I ask, are they divorced? Your
No.
parents? Oh, okay.
no, and that's the thing is that I know that a lot of people do not share that experience. Whether they're adopted or they had a parent that passed away or their parents are divorced, whatever it is. Or just a parent is just no longer in the picture. What
Stay together for the kids type of deal too.
Yeah.
That's a big one. A lot of people are doing that.
Yep. Yeah. So.
It's just feel that lingerness. Like I don't know. It just does feel like a weight.
What do you mean? Ooh, what the fuck was that? I'm keeping that in. That was gold. My little boy is coming out from my past traumas. But
You were looking at me.
what?
Son, are you okay? No.
Son, it's okay to let it out. What were you saying? You're saying lingering feelings.
No, just like take a minute and just like. It just feels like it's like a.
Yeah, I mean that's when you know that.
It's just like.
Still on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
Are you feeling
your stomach
Everyone
like
feels
that?
it. Everyone
Yeah.
feels it.
Well, it's one of those things where, like, I'm not as comfortable around you two as I am
Right.
with Matt,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
vice versa.
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
I'm sure that there are things that we're all like that we could say that were like,
for sure.
you know?
Yeah.
Thing is, I don't even give a fuck. I'm thinking about that.
Yeah,
like, I don't give a fuck about you being here. I feel like I don't even know what the fuck I'm trying to say. I could talk really easily to other people, which is like really weird, because like I'm very independent, but at the same time, I could just like shoot everything out of my mouth to one person. So I gotta like fucking be careful. But
it's also the fact that like just like if eventually when stuff comes out, I don't want to start shit necessarily.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because they're broadcasting.
And it's that too, because like, yeah.
But yeah. I personally.
Yeah. Were you copying him perfectly?
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I don't know, because like the thing is that I want to go back to before with like keeping things in and stuff like that, because I personally like realize now that that's definitely not the best thing, because then when you hold it in, it becomes like, if you don't deal with it at that moment,
it's worse for the long term.
Yeah, because it becomes into your subconscious mind, and then when you don't deal with it, it just like gets like lodged away, and then like when you go about your life and just deal with stuff, you just kind of act a certain way, and you're like, why am I acting that way? It's because that you didn't deal with what you were dealing with at that moment, so it's just kind of gets like lodged in you, and it becomes a defense pattern.
Do you find it easy to cry? Or is it
now
hard?
I do. Back then, no.
Back then, hard.
Back then, very hard, because I used to suppress a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But now I just kind of like let it out, because I don't want it to just
like I said,
be a residual thing.
Like I said, the day before I met up with her, I was just like, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where is this coming from? Like, it surprises you, and you like, you know, because again, I know how I conduct myself as it relates to certain things. And I'm not that open emotionally. I'm not. On a good day, I'm not. So, like, for it to just happen like that involuntarily, because it's not like I was trying.
Yeah.
It just,
No,
boom.
it just naturally happened.
And I'm like, holy crap.
Which is when you're put in that position. I mean...
But I didn't feel any better afterwards. Like, nothing was clearer after.
That means nothing's done yet.
You know, and that's my thing, because... You know, we could cry, but that doesn't mean that we're going to feel any better afterwards. So I guess my other question to you would be, you know, when you heal yourself, because typically when people say, like, oh, just work on yourself, heal yourself, it's just kind of face your emotions, let them out, and move on. How do you cope with certain things you have going on? Is it through crying, or is it meditation? What do you use?
Usually I see crying as a form of like stress releasement.
You do.
So it's just like not that like it's like healing, it's more of that like it's like getting rid of all that like built up like stress that's kind of been building up and stuff like that. Usually
even if it's not targeted on any one thing, just
it's
for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, usually that when I cry, it's through meditation. It's like I'm meditating about that whole entire moment, and I'm kind of like visualizing and walking through what was happening.
And then it comes.
Yeah, and then it comes through, because then afterwards I see it as like, it usually happens after I figure it out.
Huh.
You know? It's just like, oh, okay, I figured out what the fuck was the problem, and then I get like this like crazy like rush of feelings, and it just comes out. And stuff like that.
That's exactly how it happens too. Like all of a sudden you're feeling it, just like how I like posted again, or out of just feelings alone. Like I was living perfectly fine, and all of a sudden that one little trigger, like we were talking about, snapped. All the feelings rushed out, and I did something that like spewed shit that didn't need to be spewed.
Yeah.
Because I repressed it a little bit, because I noticed that I felt like it was tagging on to my friends, being a burden.
Right.
Couldn't talk to anyone about it,
Right.
because the other person felt like being a burden.
Right.
Vice versa, you put in this position where you just gotta repress it, popped out a week later.
What you could also do is just kind of like ask somebody and be like, can you just set aside the time for me to talk to you, for me to talk to you about this, instead of just going to other people and just like splurging it and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I go up to people and be like, oh, okay, can I just talk to you about this? Like, can you like set aside time and stuff? So like, you know that like they're willing to be there for you, so you don't feel like a burden and stuff like that.
And there is some people that don't want to talk emotionally.
Yeah.
Like you can be like, oh, this is just person I don't have that type of level of friendship with. So using that little like bloodline helped a lot, but also just like not gonna lie, if I were in your position, I would just take a day off. Literally just, I'm notorious of just taking little days off here and there from work and just either sit in my bed,
You just need time to
go
yourself.
eat. Yeah, just
Yeah.
like,
And that's
go grab
another.
a no. Like,
And that's another thing.
Yeah, literally just
literally.
like fucking relax and just
Chill
think
out,
shit
And
through.
that's another thing too, is that, you know, I've pondered and people have suggested, you know, would it help if you talk to a therapist? Like, would it help if you talk to someone? And I'm like, no. And I say that very confidently because, like, I have friends, I have a girlfriend, I
great.
have people in my life that I can talk to, you know, and I can get these feelings out to an extent. I'm more frustrated at the fact that no matter how much I try to get the people in my life who I want to change, that they don't. That's what annoys me. So I can talk to anyone and everyone, but I'm still going to feel the frustration and the anger above anything else at this point.
Very like, what is it, like residual, fuck is it? Like it leaves like a residue.
Yeah.
We were talking about this recently, how anger is just so fucking hard to get over.
I would be. I joke
totally.
about it all the time that if like I was in the Star Wars universe, I'd be a Sith. Like one.
Oh yeah, no, me too. Because
100%.
yeah,
I am too emotionally vested in my feelings.
It has nothing to do with what you want. At the end of the day, your emotions
will always
are a stronger force,
Yep.
and they will take control.
Yep.
And it's funny that you mentioned that because I've always thought the same shit. I'm like, I know I can. I am a very angry person. So I would absolutely just turn to the dark side of something.
Yeah.
Even if I started off being good, it just
Yeah.
wouldn't fucking stay that way.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing is it's like, you
my
know,
own thing. Same
You'd
exact
be a gray
style.
Jedi or some
Yeah,
shit
literally.
like that.
like I'm an angry person, but like it's not that I have
Mandalorian.
anger management problems. It's just like as it pertains to my situation, and it has nothing to do with me. Like if I'm not around them, I'm not angry at all.
You're fine.
I'm absolutely
Fine.
fine. I'm
100%.
okay. It's just like, you know, beating a dead horse, trying to get through to certain people. That causes you to be angry because you're frustrated.
Yeah.
It's not even anger as much, I think, as it's frustration.
Frustration.
And that's
Huge frustration,
a lot of
yeah.
times people will you know kind of confuse the two.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not necessarily that I'm angry. It's not necessarily hate. Like I don't hate anyone in my family.
Yeah, it's just that you're frustrated at them in this
pity
moment
some
in
of
time.
them. I
Yeah.
pity
it's
some
like,
of
it's
them.
like, get on with it already. Like,
I feel sorry for them, but it's a frustration of that. Everybody says, "Oh, I'm so articulate and that I'm a good speaker and I'm very eloquent." Not to pat myself on the back, but it's just like,
pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, you should.
Thanks.
Very well spoken.
Yeah.
but it's one of those things where, okay, well, if I'm so articulate and if I can convey my message so well, why is it that it's not like getting
It's
through to
because
you?
people need to.
Other
It's
people
like-
need to open their minds as much as you. If other people have closed minds, and it doesn't
and
matter.
that is out of your control.
Yeah, exactly. It
You
doesn't
know?
Yeah, it's
matter
like-
how good what you say is. They're not
Yeah.
going to be able to process that.
Yeah, it's like people heal when their time is come. It's like they're not gonna heal and change when you want them to. It's like they'll heal and change when it's time for them to.
Yeah. Including since there's always like a natural.
Because they know.
resistance.
It's just that they're not ready.
Yeah.
In a way, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Because in a sense, you want to save them from themselves because you know that if like when they would come to that realization, it very well could be too late.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's also that it's like their karma that they have to deal with in this life too. It's like you can't save everybody from their karma because
No.
like it's their lesson to learn. It's like you know that it's like you know what's best for them, but like you can't live their life for them.
Right.
No.
You know, it's like it's their life
You
too,
just-
and they need to learn their lessons, and they need to learn stuff to become who they are too. Because problems do make people who they are,
Right.
Yeah.
and they need to learn that lesson and stuff like that. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say the same thing as you, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's just, or because actually, what I was gonna say, how there's a natural resistance to things. It's just like literally the basic stuff. Even if you want to compare it to drugs, like you tell people not to do drugs, they'd be like, you know what? No, I'm gonna go do drugs. Like you can't.
Yeah, just that inner fuck you.
Yeah,
just because
yeah,
you
Well,
told
that-
me
yeah,
what to do.
exactly.
Well, that-
exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's like the marijuana thing and the gun thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if it's legal, I think in Colorado it was. We're going very off topic now, but I think in Colorado it was the type of thing where like when they first made it legal, there was a spike in usage and crime related to usage, but then it very, very quickly
It disintegrates.
you know, because it loses
gets
its appeal.
yeah.
Like when we're in like before
That
I was,
happened in Portugal too when
Don't
they
get me
made all
started.
drugs. Yeah,
Like,
that-
before I was
yeah.
20
Why Italy is so
before I was
successful with
21?
with the alcohol shit, because they serve wine by the time they're 21.
Yeah.
They don't want to fucking binge,
Yeah.
and you have people who want
Yeah.
to binge when
Yeah,
they're
it's 'cause they
21. and guess what
understand,
happens?
bro.
Yeah.
They
Oh.
die, and they like
Yeah.
yo,
Dude, like,
not
because
tight,
they
but I also
understand
just-
from a
dude,
young
before
age how
I
to
was-
handle it.
We're gonna watch The
Before-
Mandalorian again.
Before I was 21, I'd be drinking like all the time. All the time, because it was taboo. It was just
Yeah.
like it's against the rules, so
It's
I'm going to do
it's
it.
fun, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
it's fun to
But
bring-
then, all right, I'm 21. I could go to fucking ShopRite and buy myself
Yeah,
a
literally.
case. So I'm like, all right, I really don't drink anymore. You know, people are going to want to do
Yeah.
what they want to do.
Yeah, so
and-
I bought two bottles of 4th of July. I am probably gonna go home and finish the bottle. It has that much alcohol in it.
Yeah.
There is still a full
A
bottle.
quarter
Yeah.
comparison to the people who can't see.
Oh yeah. So like if you were
This
to hold
much,
up Matt's
yes.
stage, it would be that much alcohol,
Yeah.
which is a decent amount for myself to just go to bed. Like I know how much I can drink, but the thing is I came in 4th of July with the bottle in my hand because I didn't have any mixers. I also just like the regular taste of alcohol. You're a drunk. You're alcoholic.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like no.
It's like, am I drinking
No,
every day?
Yeah.
it's like if
Right, it's like, am I
anything, I like
dependent
to
on it?
smoke before, if anything. Like it's just alcohol is disgusting to me because I binge so much. The fact that
loses its appeal.
it loses its
Yeah.
appeal. And like, yeah, I'll have a beer. I'd rather have a beer than I have alcohol. But like at the end of the day, like, well, alcohol, liquor. But like, I don't give a fuck about it no more. And I'm a year out of being 21, but like,
Right.
because I was introduced to it as a
Right.
child,
Yep.
not as a child,
Yep.
but like a child, like 17.
Yeah. I'm the same way. It's like I drank so much when I was younger that right now that I really don't care about alcohol anymore. It's like
Kind of butt.
It's almost
I
good to
quit
get it out
like
of your
months.
system.
Yeah, it's like I quit
Yeah.
months ago, and I can say that I'm probably never gonna touch alcohol again.
Fortunately, I was
at
never
all. Like it
alcohol.
just does not appeal to me anymore. Like I'm done getting just plastered and shit like that. It's like I'm taking a break from weed too, but like I probably will come back to weed and shit like that. But
Weed is different.
Yeah,
but
weed
it
hits
still
different.
can do the same thing, like being dependent on it.
yeah,
Was I guess.
That's another thing too. Like, you know, people who drink, for example, people who drink beer typically don't drink it to get fucked up.
Yeah.
Because like if you're trying to get fucked up,
You're
you're
gonna
gonna drink
liquor.
vodka. Like that's and that. Yeah, well,
Who drinks beer? Like people who drink cases and cases of beers. Like how?
that's dude. Like, how do you the gas?
Like,
man,
how is your stomach alive?
you know?
bro?
Like I will
Yeah.
have like if I'm
hate
having
beer.
if I'm having steak, like I'll have a glass of red wine because it
goes together,
complements it and it tastes good. I like that.
You're
pairing.
doing what it's supposed.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm smoking a cigar, maybe I'll have a little bit of like scotch
Yeah,
or
yeah.
bourbon because I'm doing it because of the flavor and the way it's supposed to be done. But when you see these people,
yeah. It
like,
depends on your
just,
intention.
You know,
Yeah.
I very rarely drink to get drunk.
Yeah.
I'm
no,
just
I-
not that guy.
Yeah, if I like fucking go out and like fucking sit there and like,
Right.
have. Last time I wilded out, I regretted the whole night. I don't remember a fucking thing. All I remember was there were sandwiches, a girl, and
a lot of regrettable
Jake's
decisions.
Alcohol,
like,
sandwiches,
like
and
like
girls.
that's all it was, and a pizza guy who came back and gave us free pizza because of our hospitality.
Damn.
But yeah,
Really?
like and that's the thing.
That's
Like
dope.
it's like I don't like doing that because I know how insane
Crazy you
it can
fucking
get.
get. Yeah.
And like
'Cause
I
I'm the
just
same
that's
way.
the
I
last
just
time I like
go
didn't want
wild.
to drink because
Yeah.
I just like I don't like to drink anymore. It's just disgusting. Like you said, it's just a like I'll have one for occasions.
Yeah.
But the thing is when I buy alcohol, like the rum I have is lemon and fucking I don't know, like watermelon or something like that. Like I really just want it for mixers.
Yeah.
And like tasting, like throwing sugar in that. Oh man, it's so good. Man. But like that's the thing. It's just if people start doing that, when I see people doing that still, I'm like, how are you still doing that?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm that young to just say that now, and they're like older, if not
Yeah.
way
Yeah, it's
older.
because
like,
they still have a lot of shit that they haven't been dealing with and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm just
It's crazy. I mean, yeah, because like you said, there's people that'll chug it to get drunk. But then, like, I always use my dad as an example. Like, he'll just come home from a day of work and just have a beer to fucking relax.
Just one.
Just I mean, not just one, but like he's not doing it to get fucked up or to get drunk.
Right.
It's just relaxing to him.
Right.
Like someone would come home and like have a fucking glass of scotch and a cigar or whatever.
Yeah.
But
or just a cigar.
Or
Just
or
whatever
just a
it
cigar.
is.
Yeah, exactly.
Cigarette. That is the number one thing. People come home and they relax. They
Yeah,
get a
they
cigarette. They have a cigarette and a coffee.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing is to have. I mean, I don't smoke cigarettes, but I'd rather have a joint than a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I used
That's
to
how
do
I
that.
love
That
to
was
start my day or
the
end
best
my day.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
it's
the best
What,
fucking
a
thing.
joint and coffee?
Or it's just like a
Joint
bowl or
coffee,
something like that.
anything.
With coffee
With
and
coffee.
shit. It's
Smoke
so
anything,
fucking. It's like. I don't know what it is. It's just kind of like puts you at that weird like mellow state. It's like the
Yeah, you're right.
yeah. It's like the low and the high,
yep,
and then
yep.
you just
And,
come
and
together.
that's, I'm
You're
assuming
like,
what your
yo.
father has when he comes home, drinks his beer. I'm assuming watches some television and winds down. It's just okay. I feel like that's your routine. That's how you. That's how you get yourself
he'll
centered.
grill some fucking burgers and a hot dog or something. Like he's not.
And
You
cooking while you fucked up is great because like I know there's a lot of risk, but if you do all the prep work beforehand,
Cut
like,
everything off
like,
beforehand.
be fucking nice about it. Like you could throw a burger on and be like, that smells good. And
do, like-
especially
What was the game with what was that iPhone game with the ninja thing? The fucking
Fruit Ninja.
Fruit Ninja. Imagine like
Yeah,
if
it'll
you're
be like
drunk
that.
and you have like
Just
a knife,
throwing
you're
it
like,
up.
you like throw it up in the air and you're like,
accidentally cutting people off.
yeah.
fucking Anakin.
I mean, that goes into what we talked about a podcast or two ago with realizing when you have a problem or not.
Yeah.
Well, and to that
That's the
point,
first step.
and to that
Yeah.
point, like again, as someone who has a parent who struggles with that every time, well, not every time, but there have been times where I pick up a drink and I'm like, what am I doing? You know,
Yeah,
like, am
yeah.
I drinking for the right reason right now?
Yeah.
Because you know,
Yeah.
And usually when you're having that thought, you're just like, yeah, I should put it down.
yeah. Yeah, and I've done that. I've done that a couple times where you go to pour yourself a drink
Yeah,
and you're like, you know
no.
what? No, not
Because
today.
you know you're gonna regret it
Self-control.
after, and
Yeah.
It's all about self-control.
But like, even if I were to do that, I don't think I would do it to the point where I'm like plastered.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But still, just the principle of it. Because again, as someone who likes to think of themselves as very morally competent, I don't want to be a hypocrite and be
Yeah.
blasting on people who
Yeah.
struggle with it and whatnot, and then for
And
me to then
turn
turn
around
around and
and
say
just-
the
yeah.
thing. So I have to keep my integrity as a person
Right.
and kind of practice what I preach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
which is hard sometimes.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
hard not to be
Very
hypocritical.
hard not to be able to.
Everybody's hypocritical to a certain extent.
Oh, for sure. Everyone. And
And the same
that's
thing with
everyone.
ignorance. Everyone's ignorant as well. Everyone's
Yeah.
could be arrogant. Just depends. Like,
under context.
yeah, it depends
Right,
on the
like-
context of it all.
Yep.
Like if I fought, like when I fought with one of my family, like I was just giving them the business, and they were like, "Don't put this all on me," and I was like, "I'm not. I'm taking it too. I'm just saying you need to get it through your skull. Like
Yeah.
that's why I'm here. Like
Right.
I understand that I've got problems, and you got to deal with it. Like at the end of the day, I'm done dealing with your BS. Like you got to deal with what you got to do with.
Yep.
And guess
Yes,
what
because
happened?
then it's becoming a problem of you now
Yeah, and
because
guess
they're
what
not
happened?
dealing with
Guess
their
what
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're fucking doing things.
Yeah.
And on the point of like being like
It's like, sorry for being real, bro. It's just like,
Sorry.
it's to the point that it's affecting your life.
Yeah, it's like my day-to-day
And
well-being,
Feeding
fam.
them a
Like
fat
Yeah.
fucking pill.
fat
it's like-
fucking pill.
Yeah, it's like it's another thing that it's weighing on them and it's fucking them up, but then
Yeah.
it's going into other people's lives and stuff like
And
that.
I'm
It's
assuming,
like, okay,
I'm
that's
assuming
when it's
everyone's
becoming.
just living their individual lives, and all of a sudden they just come in with the bullshit. And it's
Yeah.
just like, excuse me, like I don't even know why I'm here. Like I'm
Yep.
just normally out. Like
Yeah.
it's like
It's like,
adios, because I also had the similar situation with you, like you. Yeah, just past a couple of months.
which one?
Your whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not fun.
Yeah. I think the three of us have gone through that shit. I know that.
Yeah.
And I feel like if we were off mic, I feel like we'd all be like being much more specific. I feel like we're all like trying to be cryptic. Like I have this family member who
Richard.
struggled with some kind of a problem.
Fucking Richard.
Yeah, fucking Richard, man.
Fuck all the
fucking
Richards out
Richard.
there.
I mean, like, can we, like, kind of give examples just to, like... I mean, like, I'm just trying to think
it's
of a
all
way
up
to
to
not
you
like put
guys.
them on blast.
As long as I feel like as
that.
long as you're not using names and as long as you just use like a general summarization. But at the end of the day, it's all up to you whether you're trying to put that out there.
Well, I could
Yeah, that's
definitely give it.
Because I mean, also like, is that person really gonna watch this?
Oh, well, do you have any siblings that went through some similar stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it also depends on whether they're on your side or not.
Fuck. Well, I mean, I don't fuck.
I mean, like, I don't. Is your
Yeah, my sister is
okay,
on my side.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's like, without getting specific, but like actually generally just talking about it, like the individual person just seems to always be looking out for the best interests of everybody, and I think everyone like that's in here is just trying to be like, hey, like at the end of the day, we're trying to help you, like and especially being this young as well, like we're taught to basically help our parents and shit, and now we're at the point of like.
Yeah. No,
Like, I can't be doing this.
Well, I
you
told
know?
to that point, I when I met with my mom, I told her, I was like, at this point, I'm like, if you get help tomorrow, I'll support you. I said, and if you drink yourself 6 feet under the ground tomorrow, whatever. I'm like, because at this point,
you can.
I cannot be burdened by that.
No.
If you want to get help, I will support you. I will be there with you.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I am not going to put myself in your life in that way where I'm having to be emotionally fatigued.
Yeah,
By
you're not their savior.
Not,
Yeah,
by not feeling like I'm able to do anything to help you.
It's like I'm strong enough to a
So-
point. Like I need my own strength.
You know?
Like, you know.
Yeah. And yeah. And the look on her face, oh man.
Yeah, it was like, oh shit.
You know.
Fucking
But-
hit it realism.
Yeah, it's like just shattering their egos and stuff like that.
It's like breaking the
Well,
walls.
when I met her, the morning before, I think it was the previous day, she sends me two pictures. I guess she was like going through something and she found like this essay that I had written from like 2012, and it was like, who's your role model?
Oh,
So
it's like
naturally, her.
Yeah.
And she sends it to me, and like the timing of it.
It was. Yeah.
I'm like, you're trying to get in my head
Trying to
right
manipulate.
before we meet so that you can just gas yourself up.
Yeah,
And I'm like, when I was sitting down, I was like, you know, and I did not appreciate the fact that you did this, and you know, you're trying to get in my head and you're trying to like manipulate the situation and make yourself out to be the morally righteous one. And I was like, the only reason why I had anything nice to say about you from 2012 is because I was too immature at the time to have a grasp of what the hell was going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, and
Bigger
then
picture,
I'm like,
bigger
and then I grew up. I said, and like, it just goes to show you how wrong they are if they are using your
2012.
immaturity from 2012, if they're using that version of
How
you
old were
to
you
justify 11,
That's even worse.
like I was a little kid,
Yeah, exactly.
of course.
That's even before teens.
You know,
like,
because
Yeah.
then it's the thing where it's
guilt
like,
trips you.
and then it's the thing. Well, exactly.
that's exactly what she's trying
And
to
then it's the kind of thing where they're like, oh well, anything you wanted, I got you. Everything. I booked trips.
Yeah,
we
'cause
went on
you're my fucking
vacations.
parent.
I did all this. I did all that. I'm like, yeah, well, that you should be doing that and more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It was
Like,
like
oh,
that.
what?
It was like that post that I posted. It's like they use
Yes.
that as guilt to
Yup.
just like it's like they're
Like,
just
oh,
like
you-
I supplied you a home.
Yeah,
I did all this
you
stuff
fed
for you.
me.
I
was
fed
being a
you and all
mother.
this
Yeah.
stuff. And it's just like, yeah,
Congratulations.
congrats.
Literally.
That's what you're supposed to be fucking doing.
Yeah, you literally just posted something on your story before, being like, if you're not ready to go above and beyond for your kid, then you're not fucking ready to have a kid.
Yep. Yeah. And that was the other thing
That's
too.
the shortened version of it.
Is, you know,
Listen, bunch of stuff, but-
I told her, I was like, you know, I appreciated all the materialistic things. I think every kid would.
Yeah, of
but
course.
I'm like, what I needed versus what I wanted
Was
at that
emotional
time
support and
was
stuff like
very different.
Yeah.
And then she tried to discredit that by being like, oh well, you know, anything I got you, you always loved. And I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, if you buy a 10-year-old kid a bike, they're gonna love
it,
you for that.
Yeah.
Of course. I'm like, you know, and I'm like, it was almost like, and I asked, I was like, did you ever feel like you were overcompensating for something? Did it ever occur to you that you were doing that? No.
That's pretty funny because I just spoke to my another family member of mine about a situation that they unfortunately lacked in their childhood. It seemed like they were trying to make up for it in mine, and I'm like, I didn't want to do any of that at the time, but now that I'm old enough and can have these things, I want to do these things.
Right.
And I'll get specific with you boys later, but like, it's just a subtle fact of like, you had a scare in your own life that made you freak out,
right?
And you were like, "Oh, all these things I taught you," and it's like, like you mean the shit that I didn't need to know when I was trying to be a kid? Like
you're
like
worried
we were
about
saying,
video
like,
games.
Yeah, like the video games
playing. You're not worried
that's
about.
I'm assuming you had you had shit left and right where you didn't know what to do with. Because like I'm assuming trips were booked and everything, so like that's doing things that you know normal people do. I'm assuming you take trips with your girl all the time sometimes, like
when we can,
when you can, or you take trips alone, like or you go with a group of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's natural. People don't want to stay in one place. I hate this fucking place.
Right.
Like you know, like I would like to visit some areas. Like that's normal people shit.
Right. So
like,
is that a good parent thing, or is that just a
that's just a
normal
thing.
life?
That's just a thing people do. Like
Yeah.
you want to be, you can literally live your life. Work that like we've seen it in quarantine now. Like you can literally go. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get a little heated because like you can go from your life
Get heated.
to like you can literally go home to work, here. You can pick all these areas to go in. But you're telling me that just because I go to the beach one day, that I'm a good person because I went to the beach. No, I just want to go to the fucking beach. It's open. Like, I'm allowed to. It's public. Like, I don't need a fucking license. That's great. Like, good for you. Like you were doing the things that you normally would have done if you didn't have me. Right? Yeah. Sorry, now I'm going to get personal interference. But, like, actually, I don't really give. I'm gonna drop fucking shit. I don't care. But I love the fact that my mom took us to MoMA.
Yeah.
I love the shit like that we did, like camping and all this stuff. Like I didn't really like care about fancy shit. Like at the end of the day, I just want to fucking hang out and chill.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't matter where you are.
It doesn't matter.
The company around you. Is
exactly.
Good.
And then it turned into materialistic shit, which is fine. But when you start growing up, you don't need that emotional support.
I don't know about you. Maybe
yes, I know about me. But
maybe you maybe you went through something like this too, where like home life would be very toxic. I'll just say toxic.
My parents
you could fill in the gaps.
My parents wanted to stay for the kids.
But then you go on a trip, right? Whatever it is, whether it's a trip to the beach or it's a week-long trip to the Bahamas, wherever it is.
Just have company over and it's fucking whole different dynamic.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. And now all of a sudden it's like, you know, all right, one family member is taking a picture of the family, posting it on Facebook. Look at my happy family, my picture-perfect family.
Everyone's fucking bickering.
I'm like, in what delusion do you actually believe that? You know, because it'll be the kind of thing. It'll be the kind of thing where we would go on a trip. We would go on a trip
just to make
we would go weeks of just toxic energy, and you know who's working, who's not home, who's coming home late, who had a bad day, who's putting up with what crap at work, whatever arguments happen, who didn't do what chores when, but just whatever it is, months on end, and then for 1 week. You know, one family member will splurge $4 or $5 grand to go on a cruise to Bermuda or somewhere, and then like when we're all miserable, now we're the ungrateful ones.
Yeah,
and I'm like, no,
what the fuck?
It doesn't matter how much money you spend to put us on another island or another country.
We're still gonna have problems.
This family sucks.
Yeah.
And no amount of money or materialistic shit is going to change that.
It's just putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole.
So, you know, for you to
It's never gonna get better.
Like, for that...
That's why I always feel like people should talk out their shit.
It's literally
I never...
Crush it now.
That was one of the things I never understood. Because then, like, for that family member to actually think that they could just give us this whatever, and then everything, we're all going to be kumbaya... No, it doesn't work like that. It's not that easy.
It's like abusing a substance.
Yeah.
You get drunk to carry it. It's like, you know, going on a trip to fucking cover up all the bad shit. It's just like getting fucked up to repress all the bad shit. You're
That's exactly, and that's how you get fucking like serial killers and shit. And I'm taking it to the exact extreme, but like basically it's like blank slating your emotions for a whole week and like everything's great, and then you start fucking, and that's how people start fucking getting in their head.
It's even worse though, because then when it returns back to normal, you're like, fuck, this is what it's like. you think,
Yeah.
just for that 1 second, you get the delusion works on you.
Where you think you're like, oh wow,
Yeah.
things are great.
Yeah,
and then you go home and you're like,
Yeah, and you're like, fuck.
Like,
Yeah.
damn it.
Yeah, you're
Everything
like,
is fucking
shit.
shitty again.
So
Yeah.
just because we were talking about this prior Avatar with the whole fucking thing with Zuko
Zuko.
and his fucking father.
Yeah.
With Azula. And
Yeah.
it's actually like, oh, father wants you home. Father? And then all of a sudden starts attacking the Avatar in season 2. Like, it's like, he still thinks, and then after he goes, father never wanted me.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like,
it's
no
like that
shit,
delusion
Sherlock.
took
Like,
over, yeah.
you still believe, and after all these years of pain and shit, that they're okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not how this shit's gonna work. Like, you're dead to me right now. Like, you can come back to me when you feel like you can look me in the eye and say you're sorry to me.
Yeah.
And that's it. And we can shake hands and go have a cup of coffee and a joint.
which will never happen.
Which will never happen, because at the end of the day, fucking his uncle's right. Uncle Iro.
Yeah.
He's right. Tea,
I love that man.
Any
I wish he was
sort
real.
of hot beverage, any sort of little stupid game, could be fucking cards, or if you want to share it, like any sort of like smoking material.
Mm-hmm.
That's all somebody needs to make an emotional connection and a good memory.
Yeah.
It's just being present with them and actually doing things. But nobody wants to get to that point, but it's so hard for people like who want that, because it's like, that's all it needs to be. Just talk to me. You don't need to be in my life. I don't need to be in yours.
Right.
I'd like
Exactly.
you to be in mine, but if you don't want me in yours, I'm not gonna try. Because quite frankly, I'm too grown for that shit.
Yeah.
And that's that fucking young mindset that a lot of people don't like.
Yep.
Because it's like,
There's a shift when you
Yeah,
get
there's
to
a
a
shift,
certain
a huge
age.
shift.
Like, I'm making progress with one of my family members,
good.
and I went to the house when other family member was not there, and I ended up having dinner at the house. And it was just very freaking weird, because I'm like, I am not in this house as family. I am in this house as a guest.
Yeah.
As a guest. And that hit. Because
Yeah.
that was the first time since I had moved out that I was having dinner at the house. And I'm like, this feels very different.
Once
it's different.
You came home and like
you know,
used to walk
because
down
it's
there and
not,
get it.
it's not like, all right, I'm going to have dinner and then, put on my pajamas and go watch Netflix in the den and go to my room and go to sleep. No, it was,
You feel like a
I gotta
stranger
now
to leave.
leave and go back to where I'm living now. It was
Yeah.
just like,
Which is weird, and obviously your circumstance, it's
Yeah.
very weird. But like, even if it's weird when you do move out eventually,
no, it's just a normal thing.
like, it's just
Yeah.
it's very weird. But like, even when you consider that house not a home anymore,
It's so weird.
It's very weird, because like I was just about to say, like
That stability.
You used to probably eat dinner.
Yeah.
Then do your own thing there. Like,
Yeah, that's
like,
what I'm saying.
Like, I'm surprised you didn't have any muscle memory of doing something like, oh shit, why am I in here?
Well, as a matter of fact, I walked down to my old room, and I'm like, oh my god, like just everything's gutted. They took all my crap and threw it in garbage bags. It was like a whole thing.
Oh shit.
We'll get into that later.
Of course.
But like wow. Like
Right,
the
this
only
is real.
thing in that room that reminded me of like me being in that room was I had like Avengers like decals like put all over the walls,
Yeah.
and like like AMC when you go to like the
Yeah.
midnight premiere, they give you like the posters and
posters and
shit.
shit.
So I like had them all up from all the different movies. That was it.
Yeah, it's a little reminiscence.
Just that little like
Yeah.
everything else was
Which is
gone.
kind of weird. Why would they keep that up if?
I don't know.
Like I'm not trying to dig where mindsets aren't supposed to be digging, but like it just seems like, hey, that little reminiscence of you, like,
Maybe that's their guilt.
It can be
Yeah,
like a
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
subconscious.
it's like
Yeah.
we can't fully.
Maybe that's their guilt.
cause like it
Good old-
just
good
seems a
old,
little weird, because
solid shit.
I mean, did your family enjoy did you have that connection where you'd sit down and like watch Marvel movies together and such, or was
My
it
dad and I,
apart?
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm assuming your dad's the one.
He was the
getting it.
one. Well, as a matter of fact, with Richard and
Richard.
Bert,
Richard and Bert. Yeah. Bert and Ernie.
Bert and Ernie, Ernie and Bert.
Yeah.
So like for example, Ernie and Bert, we would go. I would go with my dad.
Yeah.
I would go with my dad to like the midnight premiere of whatever Marvel or Star Wars movie or even Star Trek movie was coming out, and then I would go with you and or Ernie and or Bert to go see it again.
Yeah.
But it was always the first time.
Yeah, you know
first
exactly
time- the
who
first
Bert
time
is.
was-
You know who we're talking about?
I might, yeah.
You do.
Probably.
Don't think too hard. You know who we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, I know one of them. The
think
second
so.
one, I'm a bit. I don't know.
Bert, Ernie, Ernie.
Okay.
Ernie Bella.
I mean, I know one of them.
You
for
know
sure.
one of them.
I know one of them for sure. Definitely.
But there like to that point though, there are definitely those things that like now that I'm on my own. Well, it's different now with COVID and like all these movies aren't coming out, but there are certain things that I typically would be doing with one of my parents that now I'm like on my own.
Yeah.
You know.
You're just like shit.
You know?
It's like remember
It's
when?
just-
Yeah, you remember
Yeah.
in the times. Yeah, like you said, like you remember those good times, and you're like, "Fuck,
Yeah.
is it really that bad?"
Yep. You know.
I also hope because the thing is I don't necessarily need things to for this person to do things with me anymore. It's just that like I ask if you want to like just watch and stuff, like talk to me and like help me, like, and like sometimes I'll forget. And it's nice for people to point out like, oh, you need to do this. It's like, oh yeah, thank you so much. Like I'm
Like a chore or something.
Yeah, like yeah, like if I'm doing something on my car or something, like it's like, hey, like come on by. And I just actually said to him like, I don't actually need you there. It's because that had a memory we had, and like you enjoyed that. Because
Right.
that's your forte. That's all
Right.
you really want to do is breaks. That you know how to do them. Like, let's just have that connection.
Right.
Now it's not. Now I'm like, all right, I really don't now. Like,
Yeah.
It's like you know what it's like.
it's being basically like a petty thing. Like, hey, I need you. I don't like you being
Right.
there, but like you like being.
Or like for
because
example.
like you have to.
Or like for example, like I don't know.
Something
Let's
like
just say you have a friend and you have this this memory where you both were drinking this type of beer and you both were like blackout and it was a like crazy night. And then like every time that then you drink that beer,
You think
you'll
about
send them a picture of you drinking the beer.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah, it's
just like
small
reminiscing, kind of, you know.
Yeah. And it's nice to like think about it. Like you really like think you start like thinking all those beers you had. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I sent you a picture of this beer and fucking like down in the bench. Or like down over here, and it's like, oh, you can picture yourself. Do you remember those feelings you were feeling that day? Like, and you can flash back to all those memories.
Yep.
Just from that one memory, and
Yeah.
you'll just stem it. Be like, oh, I remember when I was like this.
Well,
when I
it's
was
like
working on
it's
this,
like
I was
when we
doing
were in
this,
high
and this.
school. It's like when we were in high school, and it's like the first day of school. Like you can link that with how you felt every previous first day of school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that weird?
You're like,
how like
okay,
you
here we
all
go.
of a sudden like remember it and you know the feeling.
Yeah. And that's
sure.
what that's what I
Yeah.
actually think deja vu is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of those repetitions that we have.
I've
and
been
we
here
actually
before.
been
I've
here
done this before.
You felt the feelings you felt before.
Yeah.
But also deja vu is an unfucking chain because I had a dream about my day and then all of a sudden my day
Yeah,
played
and
out
then it
the same
happened,
happened.
you're
And
like,
I
what the
wore
fuck?
the exact same clothes. The exact I
I've
remember
had
the
that
whole
before,
like
yeah.
I
That you
saw
were wearing in
the-
your dream.
Yes.
So you like saw the future or some crazy.
See
Yeah.
that's to be undetermined because
Wow.
I do have like, and I don't want that sixth sense of just like I can see this playing out, and I kind of build myself for that, and it does happen. So it's like that's how I keep my emotions in check. But like, don't know if that's me just doing it and creating it, but like that's a whole other conversation. But like, yeah, it's weird to be in that place because just like how you felt, I'm assuming right in front of your door. Like you've like I've been here thousands of times, but this time is different.
It's different.
And now every time you go there,
Yeah.
you remember because you sit there and you start like you literally burn that memory into your thing. I bet you're just thinking about like just standing there and just seeing everything just different.
Yep.
And it burns a hole in your head.
Well, as a matter of fact, my I don't know if this is something I should get into right now, but my sister's friend is like having problems at home herself, and she's like living in my room.
Oh shit.
So like I walk into my room and like the sheets are like a mess, and I'm like, someone been like living in my
Yeah,
room?
oh,
Like
shit.
what the fuck? And my dad was like, yeah. Then I'm like, the fuck? So I go to my old dresser and like all of her clothes were in my drawers, and I was
Damn.
like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, oh,
This
I'm
isn't
like, is
my
this
room.
like? And again, it's like compensating. So now, are you now providing this kid some kind of familial stability to compensate for the fact that you lost me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, by leaving the stuff like you're thinking like this girl is probably gonna not stay here fully.
Right.
This is probably a temporary situation, but they're
It's been like
making
3
it.
weeks.
But they're making it seem like it's a permanent thing.
Right.
I'm assuming they're trying to do it. So I'm just still
Yeah.
wondering why the posters are up.
I don't know.
You know,
I
like,
don't know.
like
Will
if
needs
you're
to
if
know
you're
about
trying to
these
give her
fucking posters.
familiar, you basically
You
want
would
her-
wanna take
you
my
would
memories out.
Exactly. Just
Yeah.
give her the bed and the crushers. That is it. That is pretty much the Any room I'm in, that is the general setup. Go to a fucking hotel. They got a fucking stupid picture on it just because they have to.
A generic one, yeah.
Just because they have to make it look fucking pretty. But
like
at the end of the day, it's a fucking dresser and a bed.
Yeah.
Walls are fucking plain.
Right.
Like, and it's just peculiar that now that, like, they might be unfortunately compensating because...
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, it seems like...
Because I'm like, nothing about this family represents stability or functioning. None of it. So what makes you think that this is the right place for someone else who's going through some stuff?
The stability.
It's because I fucked up with Alex.
Yeah,
Let's try to mend it with somebody else.
Stability left.
Yeah.
Once the person feels that the person that is the strongest and feels like they need to leave, and they do, it all cracks down, and now it's like, how many, like 5, 4, 3? How many people in your family? 4?
Including me, 4.
So, like, now all of a sudden, now it's 3, it's weird, now they need to replace the 4th.
And number 3 is going to college next year.
Which is going to be a bigger issue.
Yeah.
And the thing with mine is my first sister, she left. She got, like, it was such a bad, it was a bad break between family and stuff. So, like, it was, basically she left and it was a bad break in the family, which it wasn't the healthiest. So now the second is me, and things are happening the way they're happening again because that's exactly what happens.
Just following the pattern.
And it's just like, no, that's not going to happen. I'm going to just stay in here, not blow up and live my life, and we're just not going to talk. And that's where I'm at right now. And
you're just silence and.
The thing is all I did was go to work, go home, and do everything I needed to do in and out. Didn't want to talk to my parents because I live a very fast-paced life now. I'm doing podcast shit. I'm living an individual life. I'm doing things that benefit me. Yeah. Because now it's time to change. Gotta get a second job, whole new fucking thing. Like, that's the thing. They didn't like that. The same thing happened with my sister a little bit, but that's a different thing. My sister's always been a little bit fucking extra with the things. So, like, they're afraid, just like all of a sudden going to college, they're gonna lose that. So, like,
then they have no rock.
They don't have no rock. So, like, if it all plays out the way it plays out, that, like, I'm just gonna throw out there the fact that, like, she does stay here until your sister or something lives to college, or your just saying sister because I have a sister. Fuck, shut up. One of my favorite things on Register, one of my favorite things when I'm on Register is saying, oh, if you need help, we're here, and they're like, we're here, and I was like, next time someone says that, I'll be like, yeah, me and my voices, bro. Like, I got like 4 of them in there, like, just freak them out, like, you know, but And like all of a sudden, where's the rock? Now 2 people that were individuals that grouped to want to form a family now have to go back to being individual, and it's a total culture shock. That'll
fuck them up too.
They fuck them up. Like, my mom sent me a photo of them eating dinner together. I was like, good. Well, because go eat dinner by yourself. I just want to eat my dinner alone.
Yeah.
Like, that's
one of the things is that was another source of growing pains in my family was that, you know, my mom would ask my dad to do something. My dad would then tell me and my sister to do the same thing. Yeah. And now it's our problem. Like, we would finish eating dinner. He would conveniently have to go shit on the toilet for an hour and a half. And we would have to do all the dishes and clean everything up and do all this and do all that. And, you know, then I leave. You know, my sister is having to take the brunt of it now because now she has to pick up my slack and my dad's slack. Yeah. And then when she's going, then my dad will finally have to confront, do everything again.
Yeah. And then they'll get mad at you, and then
it'll rip them apart.
Yeah, it's just like, what am I, your fucking slave? It's like I wasn't born here to be like literally just slaving over the shit that you don't want to do.
My mom, she would literally be like, "I own you," and I'm like, "Yeah."
It's like, do you? Yeah, because one of my family members also says that to me, and I'm like, no, I am a free soul, and you do not tell me what to do, how to live my life, and just like, you know.
Yeah.
Even it's just like, those word changes. Those word changes are key because it's like, who do you now we're in the position of like, who do you think you're talking to?
Yeah.
Like
it's I'm still a person.
We are not like little people no more. We have our own individual lives, our own individual spirits.
Yeah, it's like I'm 22 years old. I'm not a fucking...
Well, you want to know what I think
not
it
even
is?
22, just who are you talking to?
You know what it is?
I'm a person.
I think it's some kind of like it's like a control complex. Yeah. Like, I don't know, like I don't know what either of your parents really do for a living, but I can tell you that my dad has been a worker bee
Yeah.
for his employer for like almost 10 years. He's been in more or less the same position, reporting to more or less the same couple people for 10 years. My mom, same kind of thing. She's always never had anyone underneath her. She always has someone that she reports to.
Mm-hmm.
So then they take that and it turns into some kind of a complex where then they're like, well, now I need to feel like I'm someone's boss. That someone has to report to me and take my orders. You know? Which is just, again, compensating for the fact that they don't actually have that in reality.
They're not happy in their own individual
in their own lives, yeah.
So it just comes like, oh, it's basically that not, like in the step physical abuse, I feel like is getting, not that it's getting decreased, but it seems like it's increasing because people don't know how to express their emotions well.
Yeah.
But it's in the stagnant of leads up to it. Like, I'm not happy at home. It's the same bully concept. I'm not happy.
Mm-hmm.
I take it out on you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not happy. You take it out on someone.
Yep.
But like we're just like, yeah, we're gonna not take it out on somebody. We're just gonna take it out on ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, where do you get off on the fact that you're bossing me around? Like go do something. Like go change something in your life. Like as long as my life's not affected, go fucking do it. Live a life.
It's a fake form of stability that they have in their head. It's like, I'm gonna tell them what to do, so I feel like I'm the boss and I feel like I have the higher ground.
Your home in a lot of ways, your house is a utopia.
Yeah.
No matter what you are coming from, no matter what kind of BS you're putting up with, your home could be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing, like, you know, you can come home and think that you're whatever you think you are, but out in the real world, you're not that.
Yeah.
So you can either come home miserable every day, or you can go and be the boss that you want to be. Or be the person you want to be.
Yeah. And doing things and being physically not able to do things is a couple things, but it's like, okay, how are you going to build that tolerance to do things then? Because you're just going to pay people to do everything for you, or are you just going to just do it yourself, build those muscles that you lost?
Right.
And it's like, okay, no problem. I understand
like
circumstances. Mind over body. And I'm
Does it mind over matter? I don't know what that.
I was gonna say matter too.
Because that's what it is. Yeah. Okay.
But like, I just feel like the mindless thing. Like, if you have a positive outlook and you can't get out of the bed, I fully support just taking the day off.
Yeah.
Not calling out of work, but on your day off, just fucking lounging and chill. Like, all I've been doing is sleeping all day. I've been exhausted. But doing that is one thing, and having someone doing that because they can't and don't want to do anything is like self-destructive. And it's like, don't bring your self-destructiveness here if I'm just doing me. Well, I'm interested. You are interested. Just interested in my life because you're not living your life. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, so many people can do things and like, oh, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I love that shit.
That eats me alive.
Yeah, it is the best thing to say in an argument, but it's the worst thing to do as self-reflect, because it's like, oh, I should have said this, could have done this, would have done this. But it's like, oh, like what stopped? Like, I low key want to write a book. I wanted to pitch it to you guys. Yeah. Like, I saw this picture. It's like a Greek.
I think it was when you were telling me about.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was thinking about. I was like, what does popsicles do? I wanted to make it like the Iliad thing, but it's just not typical Greek stuff. Like, it's not. He's fighting monsters and shit, and that's like, what's stopping me from doing that?
Nothing.
Do it
yourself.
But me. And you know, I was like, fuck it. I'll start it today. I was gonna clean my shit today. Guess what I did? Just fucking smoked some weed, played some Warzone, ate Burger King. That is a successful day because I didn't plan it. But when I took a hike too and got covered in ticks. But that's besides the thing. It was mad funny. I think I'm gonna get Lyme's disease. Yeah. There's a whole shitload of things.
That you don't.
There's a whole, but like that's the thing. Like you don't see me like fucking yelling at you guys. Like I'm just like, okay, like this is the shit I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
That's it.
Take it or leave it.
You don't need to fucking yap your shit at me because you feel it's necessary to be a boss. You're you know, fucking telling me to do this.
It's just all their own guilt.
I have a question. Taking this in a slightly different direction.
Fucking take it.
How do you guys feel when people who have not gone through the shit you've gone through try to be opinionated on how you should approach situations.
Shut the fuck up.
I just tell him to shut up.
I mean,
like,
it depends. I think
I'll listen.
Because, I mean, I think for the most part, if you don't actually go through something yourself, you're not the first person that should have an opinion.
Yeah.
But I feel like some people still have, like, you still could have a good opinion on something.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
like take it into consideration, like, as a person on the outside
Yeah,
looking in on it.
exactly, yeah.
But, like, don't tell me exactly what
No,
to do and
yeah,
what
exactly.
you think that should happen if you haven't gone through that
Suggestions, yeah.
situation. Yeah.
Speak on, maybe
Give me a
try
box.
this, maybe try that, or maybe if they don't have a personal experience, but they know someone who had a personal experience, and they were like, you know, this
Give
is
them
what
a
they
number.
did.
Yeah.
Like,
Start a connection, friendship.
I've gotten very. I don't know if offended is the right word. I don't know if offended is the right word, but things that I've been struggling to figure out on my own my whole life. Sometimes people are like, you know, well, this is the kind of person that is, and this is this person's problem, and this, and they're like, boom, 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 and I'm
like they 100% know
like,
what it is.
really?
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, it's almost like, okay, so are you calling me stupid? Like, the fact that, like, I'm not able to come to the same quick conclusions that you just did about everything going on in my life ever.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like it when people oversimplify the things you're going through, because it's such a, like, for
It's
example,
like talking down to somebody.
like, for-
in a way.
It's like, oh, stop being depressed. Just think happy thoughts.
It's like,
it
oh,
doesn't
okay,
fucking
yeah,
work
sorry,
that way.
I'm
You
not
know,
depressed
yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
Like,
you just
literally.
fixed my issue.
I'm sorry, I'm back to... It's basically saying, like,
You
hey,
know?
you need to fix everything. This is how you do it, and
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And it's like...
It's like, oh, sorry.
No!
If it was that straightforward and easy, then
Yeah,
it
it's
would
like,
be in this fucking situation.
I
right
have
now.
my
Exactly.
anger issues, and it's just like, oh, how do you, it's like, stop getting so upset over everything. It's like,
Have a
you're
chip.
right.
Don't
You're right.
don't
I'm done.
chip
I'm
on your
done
shoulder.
hating
What
it.
that shit is like.
I
I'm a happy
renounce this
person.
lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that easy.
Because, like,
People
my
expect
bad.
you to change like that, and it's like, no, everyone's grown, but it's like, come on, man, change with me. We can't change them fucking overnight.
Yeah, it's another
Like,
thing,
Work,
yeah.
work
Yeah,
in
it takes
progress,
practice.
At
baby.
least work with.
when someone comes to me, and they're like, you know, you're in the wrong, your family is in the right, you need to talk to them more. I'm
Yeah, it's like, fuck off.
Well, I
At that
say,
point, it's
well,
like,
yeah,
fuck
I say fuck off. But on the flip side, if someone categorically says, well, your whole family, they're pieces of shit, and you're right in everything, I also say fuck off.
Yeah, cause
Because it's the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
no, like I said before with you know, with my parents, both of them have blood on their hands, but both of them also don't.
yeah, they've both done.
They've
good
both
and
done
they've
good
both
and
done
bad. So
yeah.
if you're gonna sit
All
here and
the
tell me
yin and
that
yang.
they're completely right and I'm completely wrong, or I'm completely right and they're completely wrong, either way, that is not helping,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's not constructive.
No.
That's
I'm
just
wrong,
being
you're
divisive.
wrong. Everybody's
You
wrong.
know?
Let's grow together. Like,
Yeah.
Let's talk it out.
Yeah, literally.
Like,
It's like we all
everybody
done
can
shit
approve.
that brought us all to
And that's
this
what I
level.
never
It's like we just
understood
gotta
about
fucking-
therapists. I never understood it. I get it that they went to school and this is their profession. I get it. But you're gonna tell me that some kid who's been dealing with shit their whole life can just sit down for a couple hours
And
with
talk about
someone
it, yeah.
and talk about it, and then they're gonna be the one. They're the one who's gonna tell them what they need to do,
Yeah, yeah.
or how. Or well,
I get
actually, no,
that.
that's not what they do. But to then tell them how they need to approach a problem to come to their own solution.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, are they the all-knowing being?
Well, that's just like a guidance counselor in high school.
But like
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
sure.
I find that I could get, and I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I could get a lot more out of talking to people who have gone through similar
Yeah.
stuff than just some
rando that-
bureaucrat, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Who really is not in touch necessarily with actually what I'm going through.
yeah.
I mean, look. Anybody could sit in a lecture hall and be told about these various things that people have to go through in life, but until you've actually gone through it, you're in no position to tell me what
Right.
to do
No.
Yeah.
or how I should think.
Practice makes
I mean-
perfect. You fucking go through some shit, you'll come out fucking knowing some shit.
Yeah.
A little bit more. It's
Yep.
Yeah.
like you're saying, lecture halls and stuff. Like anybody could preach on this shit. Like,
Yeah.
anyone could say anxiety. This is the general symptoms of anxiety.
Well, you know,
Your
that's the
anxiety's
thing.
different. Yours is different. Yours is different. Mine's different. It might be normal, like guy and like typical shit that we go through anxieties, but my anxieties are not. It's just like, oh shit, am I alright?
They're different,
like,
yeah.
Am I cool? Because I'm starting to get a little like, you know, that social meter shit. Like I truly believe it. It's like goes down. It's like when you need to recharge.
Right.
And it's like, they didn't teach me that shit in fucking 6th grade fucking health class. They were just like anxiety.
Yeah,
It's all a test.
Yeah, it's because they don't really know exactly what anxiety
It's up to the
is.
individual's like perception of anxiety.
Yeah,
and
it's like use your own discernment.
And that's, I guess, for
what
the
you should
black
do.
sheep of the community. But because other people, it's like, give me some Zoloft, and it's like,
It's like it.
What about you, Matt? Anything to say?
yeah, man, been quiet all fucking podcast.
I'm gonna shut the fuck up now.
Yeah, I feel like I was the most quiet. I
John
mean,
and I has just been like sitting here, just like
No,
observing everything.
Yeah,
Just like,
we're just listening.
yeah.
I got that interview.
No, I'm
skills.
enjoying this actually. I actually
I
think
like
it's
this
very
shit
interesting.
pretty well.
Then,
It's
alright,
going
so
pretty
because
well.
I thought of this before and I
It's a
was
good
gonna
podcast.
mention it, but
Mention
we
it.
went far off it because I wanted to read some Suicide Boys lyrics.
Oh, shit.
From Gloom. I don't know if you listen to them. You'd probably know what Gloom is.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get
Because this
it.
is probably.
Show yourself part 3.
Fuck yeah.
No, hold on, because I was gonna be like, this is what like I think I really connected with this song, and then you were like, here's some part there. I was like, no, definitely not.
No, that's just a song that unfortunately led me into them. They're actually pretty good, post-depression.
Yeah.
No, but when Rudy says, what does Rudy say? Because I don't want to fuck it up. He just says, if I ever left my room, my fucking tomb, dreary, wishes bitch I'm doomed, the king of gloom. And I was like, that hit me on such a personal level because, like, I feel like my room is my tomb,
Yeah.
Like, that's my, like, when I get home, I go to my fucking room, and I don't come out of it unless I'm, like, going to eat or going to...
Shit.
Yeah, or going to, like, shit or something.
Yeah, just bodily function.
Literally, yeah, just
there,
like,
vibe it,
the
like-
basic things I gotta go do is the only time I leave my room. Like, when I'm in my room by myself, I'm perfect,
Yeah,
I'm fine. But then, it's just like my own world in there. Which is bad because, it's bad because, not that I feel like a stranger in my own house. Because if I have
But
to...
you technically are a stranger
Yeah,
in your own
yeah.
house
Do you
because
feel
you don't
confined?
feel very welcome.
I don't... It's not even about feeling confined, I guess. It's more of just not wanting to fucking deal with the bullshit on the outside.
Like your own family shit. Like,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like,
And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I have the worst family problems, because I really don't. I do have, the shit that I have, but I don't have really... I don't get treated badly, I'll say that much. But it's more of like, I guess a mental/emotional thing.
independence.
Yeah, so that's what I kind of thrive off of, is the independence.
My
'Cause
sister completely altered her sleep schedule. It was getting so bad. She altered her sleep schedule.
Like going out at night and then...
Where she would stay up until like 5-6 o'clock in the morning, and then would sleep during the day.
Yeah, when everyone gets up, go to bed,
Yeah.
and then repeat, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember exactly when, but it still was like, I think like it had to be like, when I first got into college, I had never like ventured outside of my room to just go downstairs and watch TV or some shit. And it got to the point where it was like kind of nighttime, I guess, like almost what your sister was doing, and I was like literally nobody or nothing is stopping me from fucking going downstairs and just watching TV. And now that everyone's upstairs, that's what I'm gonna fucking do. So that would be like the only time I would like
That's crazy.
chill in my den and be like, yo, I'm gonna go watch whatever I want to watch or some shit. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, because I don't know if any of you do that. I don't know if any of you use your fucking room as your fucking throne room, as
I
your
do
tomb,
that
like,
all the time
Yeah,
now.
Straight in there, all in there, all the
that's
time.
like, because
Yeah,
I
because
hear that verse and I'm just like, fuck. It's
that's
like,
good.
Yeah, it's because I have everything.
shit, Ruby, you got me good, dude.
Yeah, it's because like, it's like the same thing with you. Is that like I kind of like also stay in my room too, because like I have a house that I always have constant strangers coming in and out of my house. And
Yeah,
shit like
you
that.
have
I'm
it,
just, like,
in that sense you have it worse where, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that. Like, I literally do not have any privacy in my own home.
Right.
It's not like that. I don't... It's like, I do
Yeah,
have
last
people
time
in my
I was
house that
here-
I don't want to fucking deal
Last
with,
time I
but...
was here, I was like, who is that guy? I'm like, I don't recognize him.
Yeah, there's just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, it's just like I do have people that I don't want to deal with that are in my family that and shit like that, but like there's also constant strangers and shit like that in my house. So like I don't feel like that. I'm very like it's like very confining.
Your house.
Yeah, it's just kind of like
areas.
Yeah, it's like I can't even like chill in my kitchen and just kind of like be myself and like chill out without like some random person there. And
which is why I'm
looking over. It's like,
which is why I'm
like, what the fuck?
Which is why I'm like so. I mean, the circumstances under which it happened were really, really bad.
Yeah.
But like the fact that I'm on my own now and I'm in my apartment, like you know what? If I have dinner and I leave plates in the sink, I'm leaving those plates in the sink.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like nobody's gonna fucking say shit.
I will do it. It will be done. It'll be done when I want it to be done.
Yeah.
That floor will be cleaned when I deem it appropriate to clean. And just being able to, you know what? I want to be up until that was another thing. Like back at my house, I would be like whatever binge watching whatever Netflix show I'm binge watching. And like one of my parents would like, you know, be up in the middle of the night getting a glass of water, whatever the fuck. And they'd be like, go to bed.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You know, so like now that I could stay up however late I want, I could do whatever I want. You know, and the fact that now I'm juggling a full-time job and a master's program and living on my own together. Like clearly I can make it work, and I don't need you telling me how I should be living my life and like when I should be doing certain things.
Somebody, I just full disclosure, I hate my birthday. Just not a big fan.
Too much attention on you.
I'm just like
I feel
just like everybody.
I wasn't sure if you meant like just the day. Like you wish you had another day that you were born.
August, I hate August.
Yeah, like, that's what I wasn't sure what you meant.
Not gonna lie though, like why'd you have to make me a Leo? Like we're the like out of
But
all
are you actually
fucking
a Leo
things.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the day before
I'm
you.
a Leo Aquarius.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah,
you're right.
You're both a Leo Aquarius. I'm an Aries Aquarius.
I'm a Capricorn. I'm a Scorpio.
And you're a Scorpio Capricorn, yeah.
Scorpio Capricorn. That's tough to say.
Scorpio Capricorn.
Why'd you guys say the exact same thing?
It's because we are in sync. We are one. We are the John Matt sandwich.
We are Justin Timberlake. I'm Justin and you're Timberlake. We are in sync.
Fucking
We are in
Timberlake.
sync.
Alright, back to the fucked up shit. No, what were you gonna say?
I don't even know where I was going with that.
We were just talking about being hermits in our rooms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was it.
So
Yeah.
it was just it was a chance to finally like do things. Like nobody was bothering me because my home life it's very medical. So like my mom depends on my dad, and my dad just slacks for some reason. And it's like you could be doing this so much more efficient. But every time I say something, you're just yelling. So
Yeah.
okay, whatever.
So you're just gonna back off.
Yeah, like you want to control it. That is you. Like
Yeah.
I can see that. I'll be the bigger man and just back the fuck off. At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But they scream at like 11, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's like, ah! And it's like, yo, like, I can't even find
like,
peace.
stop,
Like, and then
yeah.
it's like, and like, I finally like found peace, and like, I feel guilty that I loved it. Like, just nobody bother me. Nobody telling me to do shit. Like, and that's where it was. Like, someone's like, "Oh, did you thank them for this?" And it's like, do I need to say thanks? They know I'm fucking appreciative that they sent me something for my birthday.
Yeah.
Do I really need to go out of my way and say thank you so much for all this shit? Like, and it was like a couple days after, and it's like, who the fuck cares? Oops, excuse me. Yo, I gotta apologize to your mom. I feel like
No, it's
like-
okay. I don't even know if they could.
They probably hear like quiet voices.
Yeah, probably a little bit.
I'm so sorry, but like, if that's what it is, like, it's like.
Well, it's just them. It's almost like they expect the worst in you. Like,
Yeah.
like if they're gonna tell you,
But if you're doing good, they don't care.
like if they're telling you, like,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah,
Will,
exactly.
if they're telling you, like, yo, Will, don't forget to thank Aunt Dot about giving you a Christmas gift or a birthday.
Will's like, I
gift.
haven't
That was really close. Like, and that is.
Scorpio intuition is like, I am
Oh, like holy shit! But yeah, that's what it is.
That's
it's
so
like,
funny.
don't harass me for doing that.
Because
Like
it's
they
like-
know I don't do that.
But
Like,
it's not even that. It's like,
hate my
like
birthday.
if somebody
It's
gives
like
me
you
a
just gonna make
card,
me not wanna
I'm
do it.
going
Exactly.
to
I'm not
thank
doing
them
that.
because
Yeah.
I'm a nice person
just
and I will
basic.
and I acknowledge it and I
you
appreciate it
forget.
and whatever.
Oh, you're
But
doing
like
it
for
personally.
my parents to be like, don't forget to say thank you. Like what?
It's like, no
like
shit.
did you think I was?
Yeah.
Because if you thought I was, then you should like do some self-reflection because you then raised me to be like
Exactly.
that.
Yeah,
don't even
so-
get me
yo,
with that.
even, like,
I
that's
raised you
literally- that's
better.
so
Like,
funny.
it's
I
like
fucking
I
love-
raised you better. It's
I
like
need to say something right now.
it's fucking
because
Yeah.
I mean, it's just something that I'm not going to say exactly who, but it's not even anything bad against the person, I guess. But the mom of someone I know said something about they were like talking about like technology and shit. And they were like, "Oh, this is why like your relationships aren't gonna last, and everyone's gonna be divorced because you're all on like social media and technology, and you're not like connecting." And I'm like, this is coming from the person whose generation has a fucking 50% divorce rate.
Yeah.
It's like, you
That's
motherfuckers
impressive.
are raising us.
Yeah, it's like we're
That's not
getting
even a
it
joke.
from
That's not
someone.
even like,
Yeah, exactly.
That's not even like 1 in 2 marriages always go in divorce. Like no, there is proven facts that say
Yeah.
half of your population
Half of your
is
generation
divorced,
can't
and
keep
we're
their shit
looking on
together.
spirit and connection and emotion. Then
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's what I look for in a girl. Like if you're making me happy, you're making me happy.
When you do good things, it's because I raised you. When you do bad things, you're just a fucking idiot. I'm not like that. It's like,
Yep.
you're the fucking person that raised me.
I was never like that.
Exactly.
My parents never raised me like that, and it's like. I love when they always
Yeah,
go back
it's
to their childhood.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's like,
do
we're not
not
talking about
relate to
100
me
years
to your
ago.
child. You are a completely different childhood.
Yeah.
Your shit is not what I have in my shit.
Yeah.
We are different.
It's like,
Well,
we're learning
I
from
would
you.
never talk to like this, and it's like, cool.
He's like, I would never talk to my
21st
parents like that.
century,
It's like, I don't
yo,
give a
like,
fuck about what you
yeah.
did.
I'll
It's
do
just
what I
like we were
gotta
at
say.
different
It's like, I'm not
times.
living your
Slightly
life.
different times. I
Yeah.
love it. It's like, yeah, different times we're progressing.
Yeah.
You're degressing.
Yeah, and
I
then those
also
people
hate-
are the same people that can't accept the change.
Mm-hmm.
And they're stuck in their own time. And they
Oh, I
want
don't
everything
need to
to be
change.
like their time.
And they
And
don't
then when
wanna
everything's
change.
not in their time, they get mad about it.
Yep.
I also hate when you call out parents and stuff like that, and they're just like, "Oh, I'm your parent. You can't talk to me like that." It's like, I don't give a fuck who you
Oh,
are.
that
It's
whole
like,
like
if
it's
you
like
are
fucking
being rude,
that whole like respect thing.
yeah, it's like, oh, it's like,
I
oh,
said it in the
it's
car
like,
to him
you deserve.
before.
It's like,
What kind of chivalry age are we living
Yeah,
in?
literally.
yeah, it's
Right,
like
right.
you earn respect. It doesn't matter what title and position you are in.
It doesn't give you a free pass.
Yeah, it doesn't give you free passes and
it's
shit like
different.
that. It's
I
like,
follow the Japanese culture, respect your elders. Like I do. I respect the hell. But like
Some old people are some
old people,
motherfuckers.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
like they're cool, and it's like, all right, cool. But then it's like taken like the whole like, no, I'm just gonna say it here because this is the way I believe it. Blue Lives Matter shit. It's like cool, you support that, but it's like, and you're my elder, but do I truly respect you or not is up to me and
Yeah,
only me.
exactly.
Like, and you know, it don't care who it is. Like, you know, I
gonna
grew
earn
up.
your
I'm up
respect.
now. I've got my own morals, my own ideologies, my own ideas, my own opinions, my own little thoughts. You don't agree with them? Tough shit. Do not care.
Yeah.
But it's that tough shit, like I don't give a fuck attitude that seems all the generations, but this generation has apparently.
Every generation
Right, like-
looks to the generation below them and go, "Oh, that's a shit generation."
Yeah. Or oh, they'll solve that problem.
Yeah.
Just like the whole like shit that's going on now. It's like, oh, fucking Grinberg, you ruined our generation. It's like, no, we could fix it. It's just the
It's like,
older
once you-
generation
it's like,
won't
once
let
you
us fix it.
fuckfaces
Like,
Yeah.
die, we'll
yeah,
fix it.
Yeah, just die first.
but like
Yeah,
it's
it's like
yeah,
our
you know,
person that will take
it's
control.
gonna be really weird like when we see a huge transition in because like there are extremists on both sides. Once
Oh, yeah,
that
for sure.
section dies, I feel like everything's gonna start easing out
are we
because
getting
like
political?
we could if you'd like, but that's a whole other thing we can and tie it into the family thing. Political is different views on family. You have your fucking Republicans, your Democrats, but you have people that just don't give us flying fuck. That's like
You know, I said in my mini podcast, I
Everyone
was
died.
like talking about how it's
Reborn.
really fucking sad that families will actually get ripped apart simply because of political differences.
yeah.
wait,
like,
hold on.
if you-
Before we get into this, do you want to finish what you were going to talk about in the car first before we go?
In the car?
Yeah, because you were saying something about like that you were saying.
Oh
something
no, I
in
was just
the
gonna
car.
say how when we were going to the studio before, we were talking about something, and I literally was saying that like you earn respect. Like, yes, I'm gonna give you the basic form of respect, but in order for you to have more than just the basic respect, you need to fucking earn it,
Yeah.
and you need to show me. And it goes both
Yes.
ways. If I'm not giving you
Yeah.
what you think, well, I mean, I guess at that point it's all opinionated.
What they think, yeah. Is
Yeah,
all different.
but again, as
it's
long as
good,
you're
it's
not-
good to talk about
Yeah,
it. at
as
least,
long as you're
because
not
it's like,
being-
okay, I respect you, but not like this.
Yeah, as long as you're not being extreme, then
Yeah.
you're gonna get my fucking respect.
But
it would-
even
in high school, I feel like there are so many people in our high school that like they'd like freak out and be like, you know, oh, you have no respect, blah blah blah, like you have no respect for me, and it's like you're the piece of shit losing your fucking patience over something stupid. You can't just get mad and fucking demand respect and be like, I'm doing this because you're not getting respect. Like, no, fuck you. You fucking.
Like, who are you first off?
Yeah, it's like, who are you to tell them that
that.
they need to give you respect?
Yeah.
If you're being a piece of shit, nobody likes you. You're not getting fucking respect.
Yeah.
You don't just.
If you have to ask for respect, you don't deserve it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the good thing about what we're trying to do here, at least in Will Podcast, is the fact that like we're coming into a mutual respect of things. Like you can feel freely to talk about like things like politics. But like the people that just don't have respect for you and like come at you in aggressing matter, I'm gonna come back and aggressive. Like I'm gonna make sure you feel like you're a piece of shit, and do it the Socrates way. Make you feel like a piece of shit and stupid, and
soccer
talk.
team.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And I was like, wait, what?
What Socrates did is talk like basically like he's dumb and just question their questioning and get them all fumbled and then attack them when they fuck up. Like it's just
like
it's a great strategy.
Changed my mind.
Oh my
yes,
God.
exactly,
Yeah,
and that's what it is. It's like
I love that, dude. I watch that crap all the time.
and they get so mad.
Even if you don't agree.
So mad. It's like I'm calm, you're angry.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just
even
like
if
you're
you
just
don't
showing the
agree
type
with
of person
everything,
that
it's
you
just so
are in
fun
that
to
moment.
I
watch
love
them
it.
fuck people up.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
And that's what I love about it, because it's like you're
Rile them up.
once
Get 'em
emotions
emotional.
once
Yeah.
emotions are
Then you-
affected,
then you lose.
Then you lose.
That's
And
also, dude. That's
the
also what I've
problem.
talked about on my
You
mini
mix up
podcast.
passions with exactly. There we have talked about this in John's previous.
I don't know if you
podcast.
listen to it, but yeah, just how
I haven't listened to anything because I'm waiting for 100-year thing so I can
100
episodes so I can.
When you're 100 years
Go
old,
back
I'm
and just
finally gonna listen to
I'm
it.
gonna watch them all now.
fucking just straight. Yo,
No,
that'd be a
I
lot.
haven't actually listened to it. That's just mostly because I hate my own fucking voice.
That's
And,
what
like,
it is, and
me
like
too.
I
I'm
can't.
here, like I'm understanding. I can separate the podcast and talk to individual people. Like, oh yeah, Alex was talking about this in here. But if I re-listen to it, it's just gonna fuck me
Yeah, it's
up
gonna be
because
really
it's like
weird.
I'm gonna relive it. And it's like I've already spent 2.5 hours here.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
just
want
like
to
I already
rude,
know what
but
I said.
I'm
Yeah.
taking little notes. Like,
Yeah.
am I talking too much? How to steer the conversation away? How to bring it back real quick?
Yeah.
And like little mental notes.
Yeah.
But yes, you've talked about it in your podcast. I'm assuming.
No, about just getting emotional
Get
instead of
emotional.
using your fucking brain to think about things. And then I was like,
That can say with anything.
because yeah, I
Thinking
mean,
with your dick, thinking with your emotions, thinking
Yeah,
with your head,
exactly.
like thinking with your heart, like thinking with.
It's a hard balance. It
It
is
is very
because
hard.
like
including when you have someone like Steven Crowder making you emotional, then you can't keep it under.
well, because
Yeah.
the thing is, and this can relate to politics or it can relate to family or friendships also. You have to make a level-headed decision.
Mm-hmm.
For example, and because I don't want to make this about politics because that's not what this podcast is about. But in the context of a friendship, for example, you want to be level-headed and almost like a boss firing someone. Right, it has to be a level-headed.
Yeah, there
thing.
needs to be, like, a
there has to be a
mutual
level.
respect.
There does have to be a level of compassion and a level of understanding of what you're doing and what the circumstance is. But you need to have a more far-sighted,
It's gonna be professional.
wider lens that you're looking at the situation through, so that you can make a competent decision.
multiple perspectives.
I mean, if
Looking at all
if you're governing
Burnup.
purely out of empathy,
Right.
you're gonna make the wrong decision sometimes.
Yeah.
If you are choosing who you put up with out of pity, for example, you're gonna make the wrong decision and you're gonna surround yourself with the wrong people.
Right.
Yeah.
So there has to be, again, like I said, both in politics and with your friendships and your social dynamics, there has to be a balance of both empathy and emotional awareness, but level-headedness and competence.
You have to be realistic with yourself.
Yeah.
Too. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinions, but once you start trying to force your opinions, or once you start trying to like speak your opinions like they're facts, that's when you start to lose yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
People lose respect for you
When you justify
Yeah.
your actions
Yeah.
off of other people's feelings.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think any of us yet have had differing opinions about literally anything, but when it happens, we're not gonna fucking, this podcast is over, fuck this.
Yeah, it's just like I can't deal with you and I can't talk to you
Yeah,
because
like,
you have
no.
this certain
Nope.
like view. It's just like no. It's like we can just fucking
It
use it as a good
it
dynamic
definitely-
to
yeah.
have.
And that's another thing I have to tell you. like going to school at St. John's, we are a very, very liberal school.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm sure it's in the city.
Being in Queens, and I joined. Originally, my plan was to go to law school, and so at the time I thought, oh, this would be really fun. I can join the legal society. They had like these mock debates, and they would just engage in a conversation about a controversial topic, whether it was pro-life, pro-choice, Second Amendment, immigration reform, whatever it was.
The basics.
And I would just be sitting in that room, and I'm like, all of you are just agreeing with each other. There's no debate.
There's no
debate.
There's just devil's advocate.
Yeah, I was going to say there's no
just,
devil's advocate.
I would just sit there. And I would listen to everyone talking, and then I would ultimately like raise my hand and be like,
you're like, what about
actually,
this?
everything all of you just said was wrong. And they would just like jump on me.
They're feeding each other their egos.
They're
all fucking
because you know what it is.
Ego to each other.
It's like, oh, why do you think that you're all high and mighty saying no?
It's just a pre-recorded, memorized argument.
Yeah,
it's not coming from them. It's coming from someone who they heard it from.
Right.
Yeah, they're just regurgitating a bunch of shit that they heard.
You know,
they're all looking
it's not their actual own opinion.
And so, but the point I was making though was like I ultimately decided not to go to law school. I decided to pursue a master's degree in government and politics.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about this is that although I am certainly aware of the political pull to one direction that some of my professors may be in, just based off of the books they've written. But as far as the coursework and how we go about talking about it, you know, you're talking about it from a scientific perspective, to your point, not an emotional one.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're looking at like just the different mechanics at play, not necessarily the partisan rhetoric on either side. So when you're talking to someone, and again, whether it's politics or it's something completely unrelated, like we're talking about toxic situations with family and friends and whatnot, like if you have a differing opinion, like it's good to have an awareness of like the other side of it, so that you're not like
also your feelings get justified too.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, like it is now time for this is happening because this is how I feel.
Because it's just one of those things like in this master's program, it's great because it gives me the ability to think critically, not emotionally. Yeah. And so I can engage in a very partisan conversation or a very polarized conversation about anything, not necessarily politics, but just like doing this now, like if we're talking about anything and I don't agree with you, I will absolutely 100% continue on engaging in the conversation in a civil way, and then when we stop recording, I'm not going to be that triggered person who's going to like run away, and you know what I mean?
Yo, can you cut that part?
Like, we're all bigger than that.
Yeah, exactly. We're all bigger than that.
Like you said, like when you're in that little classroom in your specific
call it a safe zone
thing.
Call it a safe space.
When you're in your safe space, other people that are in the safe space, all you're gonna do is agree with each other. There's no fucking, you're not thinking about other shit. You're just gonna you're specifically gonna talk about the things that you agree with and that everybody else agrees with, and that's it. You're not even going to ponder.
And
it gives you the mush mind.
And then they think that their argument is awesome because it's the same argument as everyone else.
Exactly, yeah.
And then when you go in there with the
and you're like, oh, I must be right because everybody else fucking agrees with me. And then what you're about to say...
That's it's like everybody using an iPhone, and then you're like, well, then iPhones must be the best. Yeah. We all know they're not. But it's just the consensus, and that's what we all have been led to think. So it's kind of the same thing.
You have that Android person who has an Android, and like, oh no, that's the best, and then they fucking get fucking, wow, mine's waterproof, and it's like, cool.
Yeah, I use an iPhone because I do 3 things with my fucking phone: listen to music, use basic social media apps, and text people. I don't look for all the other extra shit that Galaxies have in them. If you like that stuff and you like fucking around with all the extra stuff, that's fine. But I don't use my phones for that, so I'm going to use the fucking iPhone because it's just so much simpler.
If anything, I would love an iPod Touch. I would love an iPod Touch.
Oh, as a matter of fact.
Me too. Do you have an iPhone too, or?
Wait, no, this is an iPhone.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Wait,
don't
but
tell
I
me you
have,
got the iPod Touch 4th generation. That's going to break my heart.
Bro, what are you, fucking 50 years ago right now? Well, come on, man. iPhone touches.
Dude, that hurt me. Like, that actually kind of triggered me. I did not know the emotional toll I went through during wrestling season to find that my iPod Touch was in the washing machine right like a sport tournament.
Oh my god, dude,
It was very
that's
upsetting.
Actually,
It was
that's actually
like-
sad.
I'm not gonna lie, I looked at it and I was like,
Yeah, like son of a
figures. Like, and then I just threw it away and I was like,
God damn, bro.
I have a
Actually,
folding
that
Galaxy
sucks.
in my car.
Oh, you have one of those?
Yeah,
I
cool
do
for work.
unfortunately need to go, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
yeah,
got the Galaxy
Yeah, I'm gonna
Z
have
Flip.
to go to bed early. I got 8 to 4 tomorrow.
I heard.
Okay.
Are they good? Like I don't know.
It's
how
cool,
much
man.
honestly.
I mean, I can go grab it and show you. It's really kind of
That's
cool.
up to you. I don't. I mean, I've seen them like on commercials.
I just want to
and
say
shit,
this
but-
one
It's
thing
cool.
before we
Yeah.
dip
Yeah, that's fine.
about anger that I've been kind of like
Do I?
like I didn't say it when it happened because we got off track.
I mean,
but,
I want to talk about anger. We could definitely talk about anger.
yeah,
'Cause that's
just
my
real
ballpark right
fast.
there.
But what I
Yeah,
heard
take your
about,
time.
but what I heard about anger is that like what anger is that like it's something that you know deep down personally of that you're being treated wrong, and it's like your body's response to like kind of like being like, oh, you're treating me wrong, so I gotta act to treat myself right, you know?
Yeah, you gotta do things for you.
Yeah.
And that's why self-care is so important to me, because it's like at the end of the day you can have everything in the world, friends, family, fucking relationships, fucking
You need to worry about yourself
anything.
first.
But yeah, at the end of the day, and this is the best advice my uncle ever gave me, and this is the last shit I'm saying on. My uncle said, I don't have people buy shit for me, I buy it for myself, because at the end of the day that's all I got.
Yeah.
Like if I want something, I'm gonna go get it.
Yeah.
It's not a we. Unless it's a common goal, we want to get there. Like that's how fucking
Yeah, we
marriage
want to
works.
reach a
Like,
goal
yeah.
of getting this podcast
Yeah.
to a certain point.
Exactly. We want to, and we're putting the time sacrifice, and it's like okay, we're gonna do this together.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like I have to do it, and that's why people get so angry at themselves because like I can't do it yet.
Yeah.
But it's that yet fact. That's like all right, you can't get there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like we
Yeah, I get what you're
all agreed we all agreed that this wasn't gonna blow up
Not gonna be
overnight
easy.
like fucking
It's
Matt's
definitely not
TikTok
gonna
career.
fucking be
Like
easy.
it's
Yeah,
like
Yeah, it's a grind. It's
It's a
like
it's
you
a
gotta
grind
keep
and
working
grind.
towards it.
and that's what life is.
Yeah.
Ride and
Life
grind.
is a grind.
So
Nothing's coming easy.
speaking of
Well, speaking of which.
Unless you got mommy and daddy money.
don't even fucking.
Well,
I'm gonna
don't
leave on that
get
because.
started.
All right, gentlemen, I'm actually gonna leave because I have unfortunate.
You have
one out.
unfortunate.
Yeah, have unfortunate business.
You gotta let him out.
I'll see you, dude.
Yeah,
So,
it was,
not gonna
Alex,
make
it was very
pee-pee.
nice talking to you. Come on by again. It was nice. It was nice that we had that connection.
Fuck yeah.
What'd you say?
No, it's not gonna let you out and I can make pee-pee.
Oh, you're gonna go
So, anger?
Oh yeah.
Was there
anger.
anything else with anger?
Yeah, it pretty much said that it was like a lot of people say that it's like from knowing how you want to be treated and you know that you're being treated wrong, and that's where it like comes from.
Right, okay. Trying to like jump back into conversation. Now we had this pause. I'm like, shit, my mind stopped fucking running.
Yeah.
I don't know, anger is fucking hard to deal with, man. Because I realize I get more angry than I do sad. Like the only time
Actually,
I
let me go into this chair
Oh shit, that's true.
so we
I'll
can have
hop
a
in the
full
middle.
circle. Get the sage going again.
Because like when you guys were talking about like crying before and shit. Because like I don't cry, and not because I'm like, oh, I'm a man, I don't fucking cry. Like I don't give a fuck if I cry. I've cried.
Same.
I've had a really bitch ass cry once. I remember it was after this cruise, or the one cruise I was on, not this cruise, but the one cruise I went on. Cause all my cousins on my dad's side are the type of cousins like, oh, we gotta like go after girls and shit. And we were like 16, 17. So when you're that age, you're like, yo, including when you're out on like a cruise ship or you're
Yo.
like at a beach, yeah, yo, we gotta meet girls and shit.
Yeah.
And they were like, I'm like such a genuinely like shy person.
Same.
Like-
No, I am too.
I guess over the years I've kind of like gotten over it a little bit. I'm still like, I couldn't, like years ago I wouldn't even be able to like think of like, oh, like I gotta go up to this person and talk. Like fuck no. Now I could probably do it like a little bit, but like as it's happening I'm like, oh shit, like, here we go, like it's gonna happen. But like yeah, there was this girl that I was like, yo, I gotta go up and talk to her.
This was on a cruise ship, you said?
Yeah. And just every time I was like, no, I couldn't do it. And then there was this one night, it was one of the last nights. There was like kind of this room where it was like there was like a floor, it's kind of like a stage thing or something, and then like above that there was like a floor where like you could look up to it and look down. There was like some restaurants up there. And me and my cousins were chilling eating on the balcony. and I like saw her like walking through, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go talk to her. And I got up and like I was like, yo, I'll be right back. I didn't even tell him like what the fuck I was doing. I was like, I gotta go do this. I go downstairs and she just like disappeared. She was gone. I was like, no. I was like, God damn it.
Shit, dude.
Yeah, so it was just like I was so fucking depressed after that. I like got home and I just started like shredding tears. I was like, son of a bitch, what the fuck?
It's like, God
I was like
damn, fucking universe.
Yeah, it was like the bitchiest cry I've had. But besides that, like I've only cried like when like family members passed. Cause like I don't know, when I get upset, I lean more towards like the angry side instead of the sad side. Yeah.
Anger is just sadness hot.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Like
yeah.
when anger is gone, all that's left is sadness, because that's what it truly is at heart.
Yeah,
it's just like you're very sad about that. What that is.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
I never
really
thought
good
about
point.
it like that.
Yeah,
Neither
it's
of
like we're very
Yeah.
angry because we're very sad about a lot of things that are happening.
Yeah.
And it's that we use anger is because we don't know how to express.
You're
and
so
get rid of
sad that you
sadness.
get frustrated that you're sad, and that
Yeah.
frustration escalates to anger.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast or off, but we mentioned at some point how there's definitely like a lot of different types of angers too. Like there's bad anger, like I guess in the most extreme case, like wanting to fucking kill someone.
Yeah.
And then there's like just that sad anger, where you're so angry about some shit that happened, but you're just more sad. But you know, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of in the middle, maybe leaning more towards the right side. Not that I want to kill someone, but like, you know.
Yeah.
I get hateful with my anger, I guess.
And you just start like holding grudges and shit like that.
Yeah, I hold grudges. I won't even hold it for long. Like, I'll sit there and be like, fuck this person. I'm gonna, like, never again. And then I'm just kind of like, over it. I'm just also, like, kind of a careless and jaded. I'm definitely jaded at this point. So usually at, like, the end of my fucking, like, little, like, hissy fit I'm fucking throwing, I'm, like, just kind of like, whatever. But then, like, I guess weed also helps with that. But do you think that's a bad thing?
Suppressing yourself with weed afterwards, or
Like, do you think that's even considered suppressing? Not like, oh, fuck this, I can't handle this, I gotta smoke. But, like, just, like, having that time to sit down and be like, okay, I'm gonna sit here, smoke, think about everything.
I feel like as long as you're thinking about it and coming to a conclusion with it, instead of just using it to
weed,
escape.
Yeah, being like, just
to mask
smoking and
it.
being like,
Yeah.
fuck, I'm gonna go do this.
Yeah,
Like,
and
I'm
be
a
like,
smoker.
oh, I can't deal with this right now. I gotta smoke,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
just like go on about your day. It's like
Which,
that's
like,
bad. But
it's
if like
definitely, like,
yeah, if you're just
Well, that's like
sitting
the
down
drinking.
smoking,
That's like the drinking
and,
thing.
yeah,
Like again, if you're going to drink because you want to drink,
Yeah.
that's fine. But like if you are drinking or smoking because you're trying to mask
Whatever the fuck is going
the
on,
feeling
yeah.
is,
Yeah.
that's when it becomes a problem.
yeah, it's like you need to let it out, because what I said before, if you don't deal with it, it gets lodged in your subconscious and it becomes a defense system,
Facts.
and you get triggered from it every time that it comes up and stuff like that.
Right.
It's just better to let it out.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. Yeah. Because I'm definitely just genuinely more of an angry person.
Yeah.
Including when I'm by myself. Like, if I'm by myself, I guess because I have, like, no one around, like, to, like...
Blame.
I don't... No, not that I have anyone to blame, but, like... I feel like I don't have to check myself because I'm not around anyone.
Oh, you
So
think
I'm
you just let it out?
Yeah,
and
it
shit,
just
yeah.
fucking releases. But, like obviously, I'm, like... Even you, like, being, like, my best friend, you would probably never fucking see me. I mean, I'm sure at some point you would. I don't know if you ever have, though. Probably have, I don't know. But, like,
So you get that pissed?
at my worst point, I get really fucking mad. Like,
I'm the same way though, because I don't come off as a very angry person, but I am very angry, but I just choose to like be in solitude and have that anger instead of
Right.
like,
Do you
bring
ever
it
find
outside
that
of people.
anger escalates to crying? Like you're so angry that you just don't know how else to express how angry you are, so you just break down?
there's, like, times...
I get-
I've had that happen.
I get angry cries sometimes
I've
like
had
that. I
that
just get
happen.
so frustrated that I just break down and stuff like that. Because I got like that with a lot of like some people in my family where I just
yeah,
get
for
so
Richards.
fucking mad.
Yeah,
like
when Richards fucking get you good.
Yeah,
You're
like-
just like, fuck.
yeah, like this one person in my family that I just got so mad at. Like I like in the moment of just that altercation, like I just like put on like I was like a very strong like
Projecting,
front,
right,
and then I was just
right.
like it was just like right like in that moment I was like dead, like because like when I get so mad that I just dead ass just stare at them in the eyes and I just go full psycho mode. And I'm just like literally like I'm staring at you,
Yeah.
and if you make the wrong move, I'm literally gonna attack you and kill you at that second.
Yeah.
But the thing is that after that's done, I'm just gonna break down and cry.
It's the let up.
I'm just gonna
once
fucking
that
cry
leaves
afterwards.
you, you're like, fuck.
Well, it's funny you say that because like when I met up with my mom the other day, you put up a front because you want to project, not necessarily that you're angry, but you want to project strength.
Yeah.
You want to let them know.
Not dominance, but you want to come across assertive.
You want to be strong.
Yeah.
Because again, like in that moment, like I hadn't talked to them in 3.5 months. So I wanted to like make it known that like I'm okay and I'm doing fine.
Yeah, and you can hold your own.
And I can hold my own.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like I was up there and call it impulsive. And I was just like, I haven't needed a mother figure in my life these past 3.5 months. And as we stand right now, I don't want a relationship with you at all. I was saying stuff along those lines. And after the fact, I'm talking to some people and going over how it went. And I'm like, I don't think I should have said that.
Yeah.
Because then
like,
after the fact, you're like, no, I do want to write. Of course I want a relationship.
Everybody does.
But like in that moment, I had to put up that front and project that like I don't need you.
Yeah.
Because she was expecting me to say that I did, or that I missed her, or that I was craving that attachment.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not gonna give you.
So like I wanna break away
don't
from
wanna give
that,
them
but at the
benefit of
same
doubt.
time I don't want to burn the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because who knows what the future holds.
Exactly, because
So-
I literally was talking to somebody about that the other day. I was like, being in like that psychopath defense system and getting very angry and just like kind of like getting wrapped up in that thing, like just like being angry and just saying shit and burning that bridge is just not
Because
a good
then-
idea. Because exactly what you said, you
Yeah.
never know what
Yeah.
you're gonna need them for
Because
in the
then
future, and then it's gonna be even harder to reestablish that connection when you really need them, and it's like an even bigger problem than it should be.
Yeah.
Because of something that you said that...
And then it turns into a could've, should've, would've.
Yeah.
Because then it turns into like, wow, maybe I did burn that bridge.
Yeah, it's
and
like,
maybe there
then
is
you
no
doubted
coming back
and
from
regret
that.
it.
Because now, like I had that meeting with my mother, and then, my sister had a graduation party. And I went to the house because I'm not going to deprive my sister of
Yeah,
me
exactly.
being
You still
there.
need to be there for her.
But like my mother was obviously there, and I'm not on speaking terms after the way that meeting went.
Yeah.
I'm not on speaking
No,
terms
not
at
anymore,
all.
yeah.
So like now I feel like, I don't know if it's regret, maybe it is, but I feel like I burned that bridge because now like I'm not on speaking terms. Now, had that meeting gone a little bit better, perhaps I would have been at a point where I could at least just
Yeah, like what's up?
wave,
Mom?
not even say anything, but just acknowledge her presence. But I
Yeah.
won't even make eye contact with her.
Yeah, you just.
I won't.
It's a ghost.
Yeah,
I won't.
because I'm on the same way with one of my family members that I'm just not on speaking terms with him at all, and it's just like it just gets too crazy. It's like some people are just like
Like I don't mind
so
not having
fucking toxic.
like, and that's
but-
the thing that I've tried to explain to certain people, where I'm like, it's not that I necessarily want to have a relationship, but I want to be able to be in the same room as and acknowledge their presence.
Yeah.
Because if you, at the end of the day, my parents are still married, right? So inevitably, I'm going to be in the same room as her.
Yeah.
And honestly, it'll kind of do me more wrong than good. Like if I'm trying to escape the toxic energy, me not being on speaking terms with her and then being at social gatherings where she's going to be there, it's going to make it even more toxic than it was before everything went to crap. Because I'm going to like not even feel like I can go. Like at least before everything happened, I could just be fake and just be like, "What's up?"
Yeah.
And I could just like whatever. And I actually like not that it was ideal, but at least I could like function.
Yeah.
And I can kind of get through those types of settings. Whereas now it's like even worse, because now it's like not only am I not on speaking terms with her, but then you're doing this at family gatherings where you have other eyes on you.
Yeah.
And you're being
People
watched.
are definitely seeing it.
And they're seeing it, and now your problem is now being broadcasted.
Yeah, it's like, hey, welcome
it's
to the
Yeah.
our problem show.
welcome to our
It's just
Yeah.
like I'll
and
be your
again,
fucking host.
and again, to go full circle, then you feel like you're burdening other people.
yeah,
So
just like you don't want that.
yeah, no, yeah, I wish that meeting. I'll just drop it. If we edit it out, we edit it out. But she was doing this whole thing where she was like, you know, you're like, oh, you wound up so well. Like, oh, well, I'm such a great mother because look at how well you turned out. You know, the whole conversation lasted not even a half hour. And it ended with, you know, you keep saying how well I turned out to kind of like justify your actions.
Yeah.
Like that you're doing something right.
Yeah,
and I was like,
at the other side.
And this is what made me leave. Now I had set the ground rules, and I was like, if you deflect or deny anything, whether it's your substance abuse, your alcoholism, if you make it anyone else's problem, if you blame anyone other than yourself, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
And she did that, and I let it slide. I let it slide a couple times, but what got me to get up and walk out was I was like, your streak of like raising great kids is gonna end with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, because you have a daughter that needs a mother right now. And I told you about the phone with the old text messages?
Yeah.
So I told her, I was like, I've got in writing evidence on that phone that could very well get DCFS involved. And then she was like, are you threatening me? Was that a threat? And I'm like,
did I bruise your ego?
I'm like,
yeah,
yeah,
It's like, it was hard
was.
to take in, wasn't it?
I was like, but it doesn't have to be that way if you change, if you improve. I was like, my sister's therapist wanted to talk to me to get like a third party opinion of like what was going, because like, you know, my sister can over exaggerate, as sometimes people do.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
So she wanted to corroborate some of what she was saying with me, and she was like, she's like, if you never choose to talk to either of your parents again, you're completely justified in doing that because like your mom's an addict.
This is your
my sister's therapist telling me.
Okay.
She's like, your mom's an addict and your dad is an enabler. Because then it was like the whole thing, and we've been over this, where like you'll confide in one parent and then they'll have your back, and then you'll go and confront the other parent, and then the parent that had your back will stab you in the back, and then go jump on the other side. So that was going on. But anyway, I go to my mom, and I was doing all this, and I was saying how, you know, my sister's therapist told me that the offspring of an addict will either repair or give in to that behavior.
Yeah.
And I clearly have demonstrated that I am going to
repair.
You're gonna do better.
I'm going to repair, and I don't want that. And like I said, it'll be a cold day in hell before I hypocritically engage in the behavior that I have had the grudge against my mom for, because again, then I don't have any integrity.
Yeah. I feel like that's what a lot of people in our generation are. We're repairers. We're here to help rebuild what the past generation failed at.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like,
so
we're
long
here to
as,
mend our families and stuff.
So long as we have that kind of willpower.
Yeah.
I mean, not all of us have that, and I said that to my mother. I was like, you know, my sister, I was like, you know, she's the one. I said, I didn't get drunk for the first time until I was in college. Believe it or not, I did not like drink like that because I had known that my mom had a problem, so I was very reluctant to start drinking.
That's also why I don't drink alcohol.
Yep.
Because my dad's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And shit,
So you're very aware of that.
Yeah.
I said, look, and that was the context where I was like, I don't care if you get help tomorrow, great. If you kill yourself, that's fine too. I was like, but what you failed to realize, I said, and I quite frankly, it's selfish.
It's very selfish.
It's selfish, is that you fail to acknowledge the fact that your actions implicate all of us.
Yeah.
All of us. We all have to answer to it, or we all have to kind of navigate your issues. And so I said, you know, your streak of raising good kids will end with me if you don't change your behavior as it implicates my sister.
Yeah.
And so she had a cup with a straw, and she goes like this, and she just laughed as she went to go like take a sip of her drink. Just laughed.
Yeah, she can't fucking.
She just laughed. Like, okay, there's agreeing with what I have to say. There's passively agreeing with what I have to say. There's being impartial. There's disagreeing, strongly disagreeing, and then laughing at how absurd I must sound to her.
Yeah.
And the point I was getting across was about your own daughter. So when that happened,
that's when you walked
I'm
out.
like, fuck this.
Yeah, no,
and I just got up and
left.
left. At that point.
I do that to my dad too, because sometimes like I'll tell him like the shit that he's doing that like, cause like I usually like bring out the stuff that he's doing that like is affecting everybody and shit like that, and he just does not want to accept the fact that he's wrong and that whatever he's doing is just
'Cause
like
it's
literally
easier.
yeah, it's easier and stuff like that. And then like literally like right after he just like kind of like tries to go back at me or just kind of like laughs at me or scoffs and shit like that, that's how I just fucking get up and leave. I'm
It's
just
not
like I'm
worth
not
it at
doing
that
this
point.
anymore.
'Cause then you're
There's
just
no
wasting
point-
time.
Yeah, it's like there's no point of arguing anymore because I've done that throughout my whole fucking life of just arguing with my father, and it's just like talking to a fucking brick wall. And it's like there's no point of this. They're not gonna fix themselves. They're not gonna get out of their own egotistical ass. It's
And
just
so
like,
I'm done wasting time.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, Mom, I was like, you know, I've tried crying to you, screaming at you, pleading with you. I said, I've tried talking. I've tried getting through to you indirectly through other people who I know you'll listen to on like her side of the family.
yeah.
I'm like, and just nothing has worked. I'm like, so I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
That's it.
I'm like, I'm not gonna fatigue
you
myself.
exhausted
I'm not
all
gonna
options.
put that. I'm not gonna do it to myself. I'm like, I've been out of this house, out of the toxic crap that we've had to put up with.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I've never been happier. I've never been happier.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, because in the beginning of the conversation, she just wanted like assurance that she would have a relationship with her son, and I refused to give that
No, you
assurance to
can't.
her. I'm not. I mean,
Yeah, it's like if you're not gonna change
In that
like
moment,
you said,
accepting
unless
you're
she
wrong.
fucking changes
Yeah.
and shows that she
Yeah.
wants it, then
yeah. And I was like to her face, I was like, nope.
Yep.
I was like, not happening. I was like, maybe down the road, if you get the help you so desperately need, that could change. But as I stand with you right now, no. I said, and no conversation that I have with you right now is going to change that. This has been too far long in the making. That same phone, I'd given my mom like an old Galaxy phone of mine from like 2015. And when my dad was throwing my shit in garbage bags and throwing it outside on the front porch for me to come pick up and live out of my car for a week,
yeah.
I ultimately got the apartment
During COVID, by the way.
during COVID, by the
Yeah.
way, which is another
Alex
dick
and I went through the
move.
same
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, was that during the same time?
Yes,
Yeah,
it was
literally
literally
exactly
we were
the
living
same-
out of our cars at the same time.
Yeah,
really
literally
crazy.
the exact same time.
The exact
We
same
were
fucking
like,
thing. Well, I
yeah.
wasn't sleeping in my car, but I was alternating like one grandma's house, the other grandma's
okay.
house.
You
or
still had all
whatever.
your shit with you in your
But
car
like
and-
all my shit was in my
Yeah.
car, so I was technically living out of
Yeah,
my car.
yeah. I
What
get
happened?
you.
What happened was it was something so stupid. I'm going off topic, but just to fill him in.
Yeah.
It was something so stupid where, and this is like where I was talking about like chores, like they get done when I want them to get
Yeah.
done. It was like a cousin of ours' birthday out in Babylon, and they were gonna do like the fucking honking parade.
Oh, right,
fucking
you drive
bullshit.
by it. Yeah, yeah.
And and so it was on a Sunday morning or a Saturday morning, and I have work. Basically, what happened was my family was getting ready to go out for a birthday parade, and they were up at like
Birthday
9
honk.
o'clock, and I was getting ready for work, and I know exactly what time I need to be up and out of the house in order to get to work on time. I was in the shower, and they left with the garage door open, and they left with the dishwasher full. And my dad texted me, and he's like, empty the dishwasher and close the garage door. Well, by the time I grab, because my phone is the last thing I grab when I'm on my way out.
Yeah.
And by the time I got in my car, I saw it. I'm like, well, there's no way in hell that I'm doing
Yeah,
the
you
dishwasher. There's no time. And the garage door, whatever, I just left that open. Fair game. I should have closed it. And I apologized for that. But his
The
reasoning
dishes
was...
is a whole nother thing, yeah.
But again, it's like, everyone ate off those plates.
Yeah, they could have
And
watched
yeah,
it.
it's
you
like
were
your sole
up since
responsibility.
9 o'clock in the morning.
There was
You
plenty
were
of
up
time
all
to do it.
morning. What they do is they conveniently don't do chores and make it my problem
Yeah,
and
the
make it my
last
sister's
person to
problem.
leave the house, which is you, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just wrong. I mean, if you're gonna say, all right, lock the door on your way out, that's fine.
Yeah,
but
it's-
like when you're like, all right, take the garbage out, do the dishes,
Yeah.
no. So what? You guys get to just be up and take your nice long time, and then
Yeah,
you get
exactly.
to leave, and then I'm the one who has to. So anyway,
Yeah.
I didn't do it, and he was like being an asshole about it. And then ultimately, he's like, "You have 60 days to leave. You have 60 days to move out." And he on
60 days?
GroupMe, he made like a calendar event.
Yeah,
on
he
GroupMe.
made
Are
the
you
fucking
serious?
calendar
You know, like,
event
on
when
GroupMe, you can
Alex
make an
leaves
event.
I
this
mean, I don't
day,
use
yeah.
that, but like,
So yeah, so basically, like on GroupMe, you can make a.
it's so pathetic.
It's petty. So
It's
like
very
if
petty.
you go on GroupMe and you hit the plus button, you can add a calendar
Okay.
event, and you can literally make the event.
That's what he did.
And you can put it in the group chat, and then everyone in the group chat can say if they're going or not, like a Facebook event. Like,
Yeah.
are you going or not going? And he did it. He said he was going, and then my mom said she was going. So then I took that as kind of a joke. But then he said, and to motivate you to leave sooner, I'm going to disable all the Wi-Fi. Now, mind you, I was graduating. I work from home. And so I wake up the next morning. I try to log on. And my laptop, he actually did it. I thought it was a bluff. It wasn't.
Yeah.
So now I'm freaking the hell out. So I call my girlfriend. I go to her house because I had a final exam the next day. I had a presentation to give as a final exam.
Oh shit.
And so like I was literally giving my presentation out of her bedroom. Yeah. Because she has like a desk in her room. It was just like this whole thing. I'm like, well,
so retarded.
Now, and this was like in the middle of the week. So I'm like, well, what the hell am I going to do now? So like in the middle of the night, I always leave my bedroom window unlocked so that I can, like, get into the house through the window.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case, yeah. Because, like, there have been times where, like, the key doesn't work or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so I climb into my bedroom and I grab most of my shit. I load up my car and I just, like, left. And I was living out of my car for a week and I kept on making, like, midnight trips to my house, taking more essential items.
Yeah. Did you have to, like, sneak in?
Yeah, well, I didn't have to, but I didn't want there to be...
Like another big deal.
Yeah. So I was just avoiding everybody at that point. I forget where I was going with this. I was just
grabbing all your shit.
No, I know, but I forget like where I was going with the whole thing of me like being thrown out of the house. But
I think you were just explaining why you got thrown out of the house.
Yeah, that was really it.
Yeah, and then he was in the car,
and I was so I was in the car.
Then, you had your shit.
And with the phone. So what he did was he starts. Then my grandmother was in the hospital at the time. And she had, like, some surgery or whatever, and he was telling me that he needed to gut my room to put my grandmother in my bedroom so that she could heal and they could watch over her. Now, after the fact, I had talked to my grandmother, and she was like, I was never going to your house, ever. That was never actually happening.
And then you found your sister's friend in there?
Well, that happened much later.
Oh, it was way after. Okay.
But like, the thing was that my dad was justifying gutting my room and taking all my... Because, again, I took the essentials. I didn't take all my stuff.
Yeah, just...
Because, like, I wouldn't think that they would be that quick to want to gut it. Like, it's been my room for 21 years... Why would you now all of a sudden have such a needed purpose for that room? So
that's strong of an urge,
right? So he was using my grandmother's hospitalization,
which is like even more fucked up.
Because now he's using her. He's using her hospitalization as grounds to then justify gutting my room.
Yeah, because he had no actual reason to.
So he takes all my garbage bag. He takes all these garbage bags and he starts just throwing shit into my garbage bags and he leaves them out on the front porch in the rain. In which was my college cap and gown.
Nice. So you got soaked?
It was in a box, but still, it was like $250. Mm-hmm. My kindergarten pinch pot. Remember like those little things where you do like little clay pots?
Yeah, you fucking
destroyed.
Yeah.
My 5th grade reading journal. I did jujitsu as a kid, and I had like all my belts on a belt rack, and that was snapped. Like, just like these little things that were just completely all these. That's one of the things. I'm a very sentimental person.
Yeah, you want to hold on to
like if you start doing stuff like that, like I was in Europe for 4 months. I got this in Ireland.
Okay.
That was one of the things that I did was in every country I collected like a beer bottle. Right. I had like a display case full of like all these exotic beer bottles from around Europe, and those were gone. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Did he just like recycle?
He just threw them out. And I'm like, that can't be replaced.
Yeah, because that's...
Like, dude, like London, that's Ireland, Malta, fucking Amsterdam, all these places.
Yeah, it's fucked.
You know, which, by the way, we need to go to Amsterdam.
I would love to.
That was a fun trip. That was a fun-ass trip. That was a good time. Anyway, we're going to get sidetracked. Yeah. So I found this phone. That's where I was going from. I found this phone that I'd given my mom. So my girlfriend was helping me unload all this and be like my emotional support system, because like who knew what I was going to find in these garbage bags, what was destroyed, what wasn't. So she was like kind of there to be a shoulder to lean on if I needed to. And I see this phone, and so I power it on, and I saw the wallpaper was like a young picture of me and my sister, and so I'm like, oh crap, like this was my mom's, I gave this to my mom, you know. And of course she was too dumb to put a passcode on it, so I like go right into it, and I'm like, I wonder if there are like, you know, old embarrassing pictures of myself that we could laugh at. And that's how I kind of started to stumble across like text messages that were going back and forth between my mom and my sister, basically just being a very absent mom. And when I was talking to my mom about it, And I'm like, this is in writing. That was the thing where she's like, are you threatening me?
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, no, not necessarily. I'm like, but if there's any doubt as to whether or not you did the things that I'm claiming you did, it's in writing. And I had sent her a long message. Oh, that's what I was getting to. That I had sent her a long message, like, pleading with her to, like, change her ways back in 2015. So the point was, like, you know, clearly you are not willing to do anything.
Yeah,
and so that was where I was like, I'm done. I don't want to, like, try to, you know, have that mental strain, that emotional strain of trying to get you to change, because clearly 5-6 years
you can't keep
you haven't.
No, I get exactly what you're saying.
So
you can't waste your time with it.
You know,
Exactly.
but it's hard, because no matter how much you hate them and no matter how better off you know you are without them,
It's still your
they're still your mom,
and it hurts to see him that way.
and it's like I don't want to feed into that whole, like, elder thing where it's like, respect your mom because she's your mom. I don't have to respect you because you're my mom, but I want you in my life because you're my mom.
Right.
Regardless of if I give a crap about you or not, I still want you in my life.
Yeah, it'd still be nice.
I still want to be able to have it. Like, that's the thing. Like, my dad and his mom, my grandmother on his side, he's not her biggest fan, or she's not his biggest fan, but he can still talk to her if he needs something, or if they need to talk. So, again, I don't need to be texting my mom every day or calling my mom every day, but, like, if shit hits the pan and there's something in life that I need my mother for, I want to be able to still have that in my life. I don't want to burn that bridge completely. You know, and then there's the whole other question of, like, okay, presumably we're all going to get married, we're all going to have kids. Like, then do you want to deprive your kids of their grandmother?
Yeah, right.
Because for all I know, and I know this from my own experience, you know, like, both of my grandmothers are much better grandmothers to me than they are mothers to my parents.
Right.
On both sides. So who knows? I mean, maybe my mother would learn from her mistakes and would actually be a very great grandmother to my kid at one day. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
So it's like, you're that's where I was getting to with, like, that conflict, because you're like, am I making the right decision? Not just for me now, but for everyone in my family in the future. Like, it is such, like, deciding to cut people out of your life is such a hard decision to make.
It's extremely hard.
And you don't know if it's the kind of thing you want to do categorically or conditionally.
Yeah.
So
it's fucked. It's like, just because that it's like, it goes to, like, the thing. It's like, just because that they're your family, it doesn't mean that you have to put up with their toxic bullshit, and you can cut them out of your life. It's like, just because that they are your family doesn't mean that you have to put up with it. But, like,
at the same time,
it's like but
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's
like,
hard.
as long as you try, though,
and
it sounds like you've tried really hard,
Yeah.
and it just gets to the point where, again, you can't keep wasting your time with it. It's like, you've already tried, she doesn't want to fucking accept the help.
And the other thing, too...
it's not really, like, your problem to fix because it's her issue, but, like... Because the thing is that it's such a big problem that it's imposing on your life and it's affecting you that you do have to step in.
Including if you say, like, your dad's an enabler, he probably doesn't help or anything.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing, too, and this is another part of this that I haven't really thought about a lot of, but... And this could be another topic for a whole other podcast, but then there's the whole aspect of time. Because then you feel like, I mean, I only have one life.
Yeah,
she
like,
only
how much
has
time you
one
have
life.
left.
I mean, when all things said and done, I don't have that much time in my life to...
Yeah. Is your mom older or younger?
No, I wouldn't say older. I mean, average, I'd say. Like 50s.
Like lower 50s?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Still
but you know what? It's the kind of thing where, you know, she has some chronic conditions also, and so her ability to go places and do things is going to be limited as she gets older.
Yeah. Like physical chronic?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like arthritis and shit.
So, you know, it's unfortunate because, you know, I see them and they're posting on social media, and, like, the two of them went camping this week. And, like, I would have loved to have gone.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying, where, like, there was a time where I could be fake. And being fake still allowed me to do those things with them. And it was kind of like a valve. It was a valve that I could turn of how much of a crap I wanted to give.
Yeah, right.
But regardless of how much of a crap I gave or not, I was still able to take part in those things.
Yeah.
And, you know, now it's like I'm seeing them do these things, and like they had gotten a camper not even a year ago. And like the plan was every year we're going to go camping now. We got this camper. We're going to go on trips. We're going to go here. We're going to go there. And like now I'm watching them do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not there to do it with them. And it's like, yes, I'm on shit terms with her, but like I'm working towards making headway with him. And it's like now I'm not able to do things with him, and now he's taking his paid time off to go do things with her. And then if he's taking paid time off with her, now he's not going to be taking paid time off to do anything with me because you have a limited amount of paid time off. So it just time. Like it's such a crazy thing where you're trying to.
We're at an age now where in the next few years we're probably all going to be doing our own fucking thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally everybody you grow up.
Yeah. Well, that's
fucking. Not that you drop friends, but you know, there's just no time for certain people, certain family members. So it's like you try to fit it all in while you can.
I have a friend right now who's like living large in LA, and he's like making bank.
Really?
Oh yeah. He's got like an AMG and a like Porsche, and he's like like insane.
That's where I want to be.
And he was like, he was like, dude, he's like, you want me to buy you a ticket for like this weekend to come to LA? And I'm like,
damn.
I would.
It's like no, but yeah.
I would.
It's like I want to pay for it myself.
Well, I mean, of course, but it's not even that. It's just like I'm working. I have a life. Like I'm not able to just get up and go.
I'm trying to make my bank.
You know, it's just one of those things where I don't know.
Yeah.
It's sad. You know, it's like you're. I don't know.
It's funny because like. It's the opposite with me where, like, I've stopped going on vacations because I don't want to deal with the Richard of my family. Okay. And it's like, I guess it also goes back to, like, me constantly being in my room, wanting that, like, tomb or whatever. I would much rather have that empty house where I could just fucking have that, like...
Then be fake.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm the same way with you, because... My dad always invites me onto vacations and stuff like that, but like he wants to like, he's like he wants to pretend that everything is okay. He wants to pretend that everything is okay and stuff like that. But meanwhile, he hasn't apologized for anything that he's done. Yes. And I don't want to sit there and just pretend to like literally.
And that was like what I was.
I don't want to pretend that like everything's okay just for the sake of going on vacation. Because I'm not that type of person. I'm gonna be as real as possible. Because he should know that if I go there and he invites me and I'm there,
so you're just gonna fuck off anyways.
I'm gonna fuck off. I'm gonna fuck off, and I'm gonna tell him off every single fucking day of that vacation.
Make his vacation fucking miserable.
And that's what I was saying to Will before about like how, you know, our parents will just like hemorrhage thousands of dollars, have us go on a vacation, and then like think we're like some picture perfect family feeding into their own delusion when in fact we're not.
Yeah.
And then they're surprised when everyone is a miserable, dopey mess. Like, oh, you ungrateful brats.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're not ungrateful. We're just miserable. It has nothing to do. Again, that's the thing. It's like, well, the more money I voluntarily choose to piss on you, then the more ungrateful you are when you don't suck my dick.
Yeah,
literally.
It's like you chose to spend all this money.
Like, am I this ungrateful? Am I this ungrateful every single night that you come home?
Literally.
Why is it only when you're spending this much money that my behavior becomes ungrateful?
Yeah, it's a specific time.
You know, it's conditional.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
It is fucked up.
Because like fortunately, my family isn't that bad. Where I have people that like don't care about me. For me, at least, I feel like it's more of me being protective. Because like, I would never sit there and act like I am grateful. I'm very grateful, including I have a dad that does care about me. But like my parents are divorced. That's what fucked me up, was the fact that like I did have a dad that cared about me, but I was never fucking around him. He was never able to be around me, really. And like you would get that like every other couple weeks you're together on the weekends or whatever, but it's fucking it's nothing. Enough, it's nothing. But it's still good to get that time, but like.
Isn't that just a crazy... Like, I think that whole concept of time is just, like...
Yeah.
Because, dude, like, I gotta tell you, like, now... And it's really funny. I had, like, call it an epiphany or just, like, a moment of, like, clarity. Not I don't even know. But, you know, everyone's, like... You're in elementary school, right? You're like, all right, 6 years of this or 5 years of this, and then middle school. All right, 3 years of this, then high school. 4 years of this, then college. 4 years... Then either you graduate or you go on grad school.
Yeah.
Right? Now I'm at a point where I have a full-time job. And I'm like, okay, now it's this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, literally. It's
Like,
just
this
instantly.
is it. My 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. I got
Yeah.
my retirement. And that's another thing. Like, now I'm contributing to a retirement account.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit. Like, now
It's
I'm
going.
preparing to die. Like, it's
Yeah,
just
literally.
so
This-
insane.
Yeah, that is.
And it's just like when you're dealing with, like, real life like that, it makes everything... It changes your perspective on family, on everything.
Right.
Because then you're like, holy crap. Like, life is so short.
Yeah,
it is so... short. Like, before you know it, you know, you're gonna, like I said, I'm living on my own, and again, I'm fortunate actually to have been put into the circumstance that I'm in, because now, like, for someone my age, I'm able to live a longer life of being on my own, and I'm lucky that I'm able to, like, be my own servant.
Yeah, you could.
And I can do what I
live
want.
off yourself.
I can live off of myself, but I don't know. It's crazy. Like, I still feel like pressure to remediate the situation in some
I
capacity.
think that's just the natural.
Because I just don't want to.
feeling of
I just
being a
don't
kid,
want to
like you-
lose it. I don't
Yeah,
want to
right.
lose that time.
Again, you think back to when things are good, and you're like, you know you could have it again.
Yeah.
But it's even more stressful when it's the other people that aren't helping out, trying to see that.
I mean, like, Matt, I could go to my house tomorrow and say, "Hey, Mom, let's all have dinner." I could do it. It's literally
Yeah.
one text message away.
Right.
But it's like, I don't know if now it's me being selfish or petty or narcissistic that I'm trying to feed into my own ego and integrity as a person that I don't want to now come to. Like, I could very easily give myself what I want and be smart enough to, like I said, that valve of, like, controlling how much of a crap I give
Yeah.
towards anyone. But, like, that's what kind of got me into this mess to begin
Right.
with.
Then again, it's like, do you want it to be fake? Like, do you want to have
I
to
don't
be
know.
like...
But again,
Yeah.
like I said, I don't want to give up seeing. This is gonna sound stupid, but, like, my dogs, my
it's-
dad.
Yeah,
You know, like,
things that matter.
there are other people and animals in that house that I do care about.
Yeah.
And I don't want, like, again, I don't want to be fake towards my mom, but even more so, I don't want not being fake to then result in me not having any of any relationship
Yeah,
with
at
anyone
all.
else.
Right.
So, like, what bullet do you want to bite?
Yeah.
Would you rather be fake and have a
have
relationship
everybody,
and have
yeah.
everyone else, or, you know, keep your balls and have your integrity, but now you're the byproduct of that is now you're not in that house and you're not seeing anyone,
Right.
everyone
And you're
else.
alone.
Yeah.
And then you're alone.
Yeah.
That's something you got to grapple with.
Yeah.
No,
Because
it is. It's hard.
Because the thing is that, like, if it's fake, it's gonna fall apart anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like you'd rather be real and just construct things that are real so they have a better structure and foundation so
Yeah.
they won't go away because you know that they're real.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that if it is fake, it's just going to go away anyway at the slightest
Yeah.
little thing that happens.
Yeah.
Or
So
if-
it's like, am I going to waste my time being fake and then just constantly keep rebuilding something that's just going to keep falling apart? Or am I going to be alone and build something that's real and actually has solid foundation and know that it's not going to fall apart at the little slightest
Yeah.
winds that blows upon it?
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
It's very hard.
It is.
Yeah, family's a fucking thing to deal with. Cause that's like I've gone through like so many periods of just hate and not fucking talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just, I don't, whether he realizes or not, it's a very manipulative thing he does where, you know, you'll meet him and he's very good with talking and, you know, coming off as like a really good person. And you wouldn't expect him to be the way he is. You would think he's just a very like stand up, down to earth person.
Yeah.
But then, you know, there's that side that nobody else sees
Yeah.
where
Mm-hmm.
it makes me be like, I don't want to have any fucking part.
And then you look like
Bro,
the
that's a
asshole
fact, 'cause I'm on
because
the
then
same-
when you start trying to complain about it or bring it up to other people, all they know is the very one-sided
Right, yeah.
projection, and then you look like the piece
Which
of crap.
is why I don't even
It's a very
fucking bring it
lonely
up.
road being
Yeah,
the
it
real
is.
one.
It's very.
And that's the thing, you know. It's and that's the thing I don't appreciate. Like when people are trying to tell me like oh yeah, fuck your family and don't talk
Right.
to any of them, and it's like you don't understand. Like it's so much deeper than that. It's not black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like us, like we have like scarily like we have very like startling similar
Yeah,
like,
literally John in our
situations.
life. It's like so
It's
crazy
very
how similar.
Parallel lives.
Yeah.
Like we're living out of our cars at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing with
It was
exactly.
dude, it was the funniest thing. Like he sends me a snap and he's like, "Oh, I guess I'm homeless now." And I'm like, "Bro, are you
yo,
living
I'm
out of your car?"
homeless
Yeah. Me too.
You're a
Yeah,
hobo
it's like,
bro.
what the
Let's go.
fuck is
Hobro, we're hobros.
Yeah, the hoe bros, bro.
Yeah, the whole bro life.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
I still
but
can't believe
getting
that
where I
happened.
was
That's a
getting, I
great,
guess, like
group chat name.
The
hobros. That's funny as fuck, actually. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yo.
But like, cause it's like as much as we're similar, as much as you guys are similar, like, I still don't know what it's like to be here. You don't know what it's like to be at my house. So like, we can't go to each other and be like, yo, like, cause it. Not that this really happens to me, I guess, but even when I see it happen with other people, I hate when people try to. Like you were saying, almost act like they know what's going on, or when they try to like make their problems higher up to be like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like, oh, like, yeah, I go through the same shit. Meanwhile, it might not be like the same exact thing. Almost kind of like people who like diagnose themselves with like depression or whatever, when really it's just like a small thing of fucking like sadness they're going through, because like everyone goes through those things. But like, yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, unless I'm literally living at your house or you're living at mine or I'm living at your house, like, we can talk about it as much as we want and understand.
Yeah, but we'll
we're
never
still not gonna
fully understand
Yeah.
the exact same details that the other person is
Because
going
like, we
through.
all know, I'm not going to say it loud, we all know there's piece of shits in our fucking houses that we don't want to fucking deal with. But again, it's like, you know. 'Cause, I mean, I think we've each gotten like a little bit of it. Like, I remember, not recently, because I've never really, I guess, been around recently, but I remember in your older house when you lived there was like, I don't remember what the fuck was going on, but I remember there was kind of like a part where I was kind of like, you know, when like you're like at your friend's house or like a cousin's house and like, so like a parent gets like really fucking, and you're just kind of like sitting there like,
Yeah, you're like, oh, what do I do?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's just like awkward. Like, it was like one of those moments, and I was like, okay, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then there was like at my house for my birthday where like he was like screaming at the fucking dogs for like jumping when they literally weren't fucking jumping.
Yeah,
And I was like,
it's just like,
it's like, come on, dude. It's like, fuck. It was like so fucking stupid. I
It's
hate
just
thinking
so
of that.
embarrassing.
It
I
is
don't
extremely
understand how
embarrassing.
people can bring themselves to act that sort of way in front of other people
It's 'cause
and
they think
still
they're
be able
right.
to look at themselves in the mirror and be like, okay, I'm an okay person. I'm
Yeah.
okay with you know.
It's narcissism.
It is
Very.
narcissism. It's like they just don't want to fucking
'Cause-
look at their own
Yeah.
flaws and look at how it
Well, that was another
affects
thing.
other people.
And this is a great point too. I had been trying to. When I left, I sent both my parents very similar text messages, and I'm like, I want an apology if you want anything to get better.
Yeah.
I need some kind of acknowledgement of fault or admission of wrongdoing, whatever word you want to use. Because my dad was like, I don't like apology. I don't know what that's a hard word. Like whatever the fuck word you want to
Yeah.
use, whatever.
Doesn't want to hurt his ego.
Now
yeah.
he was just doing like small talk where he would text me. It was borderline harassment every single
Really?
day for about a month. Every day he would send me like, and one of the things that we would do, like, again, getting back to the thing with Will of like things that we would do with our parents or things that we would do with those who we like miss having done those things with.
Yeah.
You know, like if there was, I told you I'm a tech guy, so like if there's
Right.
any like new phone or whatever that comes out on whatever like news feed, we'll send each other links. Or like if there's a trailer for a new Marvel movie, we'll
Yeah.
whatever bullshit back and forth. And he was like doing stuff like that, like just small talk, sending me links, just like whatever, and I just completely was ignoring him. And I'm like, the only way to get him or her to talk about anything of substance, anything that I thought was appropriate to start talking about, was to deface their public image. Because that's how you get to a narcissist.
Yeah.
If you just try to text a narcissist and get them to talk about what you want them to talk about, they'll never do it.
No.
Because they're a narcissist.
Yeah.
But, again, like the posting to Facebook on trips, oh, look at what a picture-perfect family I have, taint that.
Yeah.
Then they'll talk.
Yeah.
Then they'll do anything and everything to get you to delete what you just
Right.
posted.
Yeah, that's true.
So
get
I
what
was
you're saying.
posting
Because I used to do that with my dad too.
A lot of the memes
and a couple of other.
Like a lot of the memes that you would put on your Instagram, things similar to that about like
just
defining
like
a narcissist. Yeah, just things like family isn't blood. It could be whoever, or just whatever these little quotes. But it was clearly directed at them.
Yeah.
And then my dad and my mom were like, "Take that down."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, so now you talk."
Right. Yeah.
Now
that I got your attention,
we can begin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we
into the arena, motherfucker.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, let's go, SmackDown. But
I'm not in here with you. You're in here with me.
Yeah. But it's like one of those things where I don't like being that petty. I don't enjoy it.
No.
But unfortunately,
It has
if
to happen
that's the
sometimes.
only way of like tapping into them,
Yeah.
you know what? I will tell you.
You gotta take that road.
I will tell you that after that, I made a lot of progress with my dad.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
And I
That's
deleted
good.
all of those posts. I did. But then my mother posted something. I posted one about a narcissist, and I wrote, the caption was, "I know one," meaning like my mom. And then my mom posted a link from like the CDA. Is that the right one? I don't know. And it was like adolescent narcissistic disorder. And then she was like, "I know one." Towards me.
Yeah.
But then my sister.
She went at her.
No, but my sister misconceived it. As
her
as being directed at her.
Oh shit.
Oh,
which she's
fuck.
right, and we.
Yeah, and then she spiraled down because of it.
Right, because now she's like, well, she thought it was directed at her, and then that became a whole other thing. And I'm like, you're so petty. And I'm like, you're telling me that I'm the one who's immature. I'm like, you know what? Be the bigger man. Be the bigger person that you claim yourself to be. And like, not that I was baiting her, but I wanted to see how she would like take that. And the fact that she just like posted something else and added me,
it just
I'm like, you're no better than me.
it. Yeah.
No better than me. And that's the thing, and that's what allows me to go to sleep soundly at night. I'm a product of her.
Yeah, exactly.
So if she ever wants to like jump down my throat about like any flaws she finds in me, it came from somewhere.
It's like
it came from someone.
Your womb,
Yeah.
bitch.
So
yeah, it's like I was saying before, like all these parents, they're so quick to take what's the word? To take like responsibility, I guess, for the good things that come out of someone, but the second is bad. It's like, nah, it's just your generation.
it's like a double standard.
Yeah, it is very double standard. Like, no, it's your generation, or no, you're just lazy, or it's like, I'm just doing what I was taught to do by the people that raised me, so I don't know what the fuck you're on about.
It's like I'm a splitting reflection of you.
Yeah, literally.
It's like you're just getting mad because you're just seeing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, I'm very fortunate to not have like those types of family problems. For me, it was just not being able to take the divorce, which is why I think it's more anger, because for me it was just something that happened that I didn't understand, and then like adding in my shit, but like.
You were young when that happened?
Yeah, sometime in elementary school.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but I took it like exceptionally worse than like my sisters did. I think because I think she was probably old enough to the point to know what was happening.
Yeah.
I was like too young to really not know, but I was in the middle where I was like, okay, what the fuck's actually going on here? Because like,
right,
I don't remember shit from those years. I don't remember those years at all because of how like fucked up that got me. And there would even be times where like, even like just stupid small petty argument would lead to me like breaking the fuck down, and then somehow making a connection to that, and being like, oh well, I just want things to be normal or whatever. So I think that's why it's more anger with me, because I don't have like any specific person to be like, to do. I don't know. I'm like losing my train of thought.
To put like blame on.
Yeah, I don't have like a specific person that like fucked me or that I have a problem
remember
with.
we were talking about at the beach about how like our parents' demons live in us.
Yeah.
And like we're sometimes quick to like blame them for those things, and we have to navigate.
Yeah.
Those.
You fucked me up for 2 days after that. I was thinking about some heavy shit afterwards. I was like,
so we went to the beach, me, him, and another friend of mine, and we were talking about some deep stuff. My dad would always joke about it that me and my sister both represent the worst attributes of both my mom and my dad. We would laugh about it.
Yeah.
Like just that if my dad is forgetful, I'm forgetful. If my dad does something great, I'm not doing something great. And it was just the type of thing where I would just notice that, you know, like my dad is very forgetful, and I would find myself being very forgetful. My mom is on a very short fuse, and I would find myself being very quick to anger and being very irrationally angry.
Okay, I get exactly what you're saying. Because I'm the same way with my dad. I have zero fucking patience, and I know for a fact I got that from him.
Yep.
I know for a fucking fact I got it from him.
And it's like you don't want to use it as a cop-out, and you don't want to use it as a crutch.
Yeah,
and you don't want to make an excuse for it, because then you're normalizing the behavior.
Right.
So you want to identify that, yes, you have demons. Yes, those demons very well could be genetic. You could have inherited them from your parents,
Right.
but they're still yours to deal with. And yeah, no, I think I fucked Matt up. Matt was like, he texted me like a day and a half later. He's like, I'm still fucked up.
Yeah, I was like thinking about like all the shit that
I'm like,
my
oh,
dad.
shit.
Yeah, because literally, but it did help me a lot with like
It makes you
the
realize.
relationship that I am in now, because like it really helped me like figure out why I reacted the way that I did in the situation of how I did a lot of things. But because then I was like, why the fuck did I react that way? And I'm just
Yes.
like, oh, that's just
Now
a
you
defense mechanism from how my dad acts.
Right.
And I'm literally going through the same thing that what he did, and I'm like, then I gotta use that as in the back of my mind
Of
and
what
be
not
like,
to do.
yeah. And then it's just like, oh, I get it from him, so I gotta override that
Yeah, I know exactly.
shitty thing in my head to fucking.
That was one of the things that really like fucked my mom up. Where I was like, no, I'm like, you did a great job teaching me how to like be an adult.
Yeah,
and
how
be
to
a
not
parent.
be you.
Just yeah, whatever you do, I just do the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm like, and it hasn't let me
Exactly.
I said it to my dad too. I'm just like, thank you for being such a shitty person, because now I know how to be a good father.
Yeah.
down.
Exactly.
That messes them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
That messes them up. But yeah, no, that was like just a whole thing where you're just like, I don't know, because like you want to own your emotions and you want to own those demons, but you don't want to own them so much that they break you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know?
And that they just consume who you are.
Because like
and
I
shit.
would like to think that I'm my own person and I have it in me to not partake in that behavior or relapse in that behavior.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I was like doing a lot of like reflecting, and I was like, wow, like there's a lot of my dad in me, just as there's a lot of my mom and my sister. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things, you know. And like growing up, like to that point, you know, growing up, I would be like, oh, one day I want to get married and I want to have a kid and I want to like have a family and like live in a nice house and all this other crap. And it was like really like I was very lost as a kid because like my parents were just so dysfunctional, both as it pertained to each other and then as it related to just the family in general, just the different, you know, moving parts at play. And I would be like, I have no idea how to conduct myself in a relationship, like with a girl. I have no idea like what the right thing to say or do is because my parents have just not been leading by a good example.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And,
Because
like,
then I
your
was
first-
like, that's why all my relationships has failed. Is
Like, was
because
your
I
first-
had no idea.
Yeah,
how
you have.
to
Yeah, you can't look
express
at your
my own
parents.
emotions.
Like,
Yeah,
you know, you
literally,
have
it's
nothing
'cause,
to
like,
go off of.
Yeah, literally, because like
was your
like,
first
I've never seen
relationship, like,
I've never
fucked?
seen my literally like because the thing is that I always kind of knew how to act, but then when it came down to it, it was just like, oh, I don't know really how to express fully how I feel on the inside and convey it to the other person.
Right.
It's like inside I knew how I felt and how I like wanted to
Finding
go.
the right words is
yeah.
hard.
But then when it came down to it and actually expressing it, it always would just go wrong, and then it would just always go sideways
Yeah.
and shit like that.
And turn into an argument. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what we were going
Turn
to
to
talk
arguments
about.
and stuff like that because like it just can't
Yeah.
come out the right way.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you try to like voice your issues or your problems, and it's like you're just trying to make a point. And
Yeah.
I'm not trying to point fingers. I'm not trying to start shit. I'm not trying to turn this into an argument. I'm just trying to like tell you where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I was telling him like there was a conversation that I needed to have, and I was telling them, and I was like, you know, I just want you to know that like I'm aware of that I've been off lately, and again, in the context of everything going on with my family, that certainly wasn't helping my emotions of being a good person because it was like I was being broken.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want you to be aware that I'm aware of, like, that I have shit going on. I don't want you to misconceive me, meaning this with being that. and just like I want you to know that I'm working on things.
Right.
But like I made a point of not being specific, because then if you're specific, then you open up the door of it turning into like an argument of like, well, how about this other thing that you should be trying to fix, and then it just spirals out of control.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just crazy how much that like family issues can take a toll on your actual personal relationships
really
and stuff, especially when it's like both of you are both going through like crucial family stuff, and it's just like
the
relationship just has a whole toll on it, and it ends up like ruining the whole relationship.
And then there's the other thing too, where you try to you talk from experience on things, and when you're talking to someone who's asking you about something, and then you offer your 2 cents, and you're coming from a place of real world experience, it's almost like you're crushing dreams, and it could be perceived as that you're being unsupportive, but in reality, I've been there, I've done that.
Yeah, you're just being truthful.
Like for example, like if you have like a disgruntled father talking to his son, and the son is like, Daddy, I want to be a policeman when I get older, or I want to be a rocket scientist when I get older, I want to be a pilot or a neurosurgeon when I get older. And the dad is like, the likelihood of that actually happening is close to zero. So
you're saying that's what you
do? Not that abruptly.
Yeah, you don't like crush dreams.
But it's just like,
Alex,
you look at the more reality side of it.
because it's like, I've been there. I've been there, I've done that. I know how certain things work. And again, I'm not trying to come across like a know-it-all, but like, in the limited exposure to the real world that I've had these past few years of like working.
Yeah, experience still helps, yeah.
I know certain things, and so it could be perceived.
Yeah, it's like if you want to do this is going to happen. So if you want to become this, you have to keep this in mind. You know?
Right, because I know you were telling me, you're like, I'm just trying to help you. Like, that's what you're trying, that's your thought process.
Yeah, but then they take it as like an ego bruise.
They take it as like a,
what the fuck?
Because they don't want to.
Like, they take that as you're gassing yourself up, and you're stomping on my throat, and you're trying to crush my dreams of doing what I want to do. And you're like, no, I'm just telling you that if this is your goal, and if this is what you want to do,
you gotta watch out for these specific
keep in mind,
things.
Because like, if just on such a basic level, people that want to be professional athletes, if you're not doing that thing every single fucking day, all day, you're not going to be a professional athlete.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't take days off,
it's like
you
a dancer,
need to be,
same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You need to be the best out there.
Yep.
Or at least you really need to stand out. So if you're not going to, don't even fucking bother trying.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could be called like a Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
Debbie Downer.
Yeah, Debbie Downers. I'm definitely one of those.
Yo. That's so fucking...
Why is there something
That's crazy.
I'm not going to understand?
Yeah, afterwards.
Yeah.
That's funny. But, it's not that I'm being a downer, and not that I'm trying
to be realistic.
Pessimist. I'm just trying to be real, and I'm trying to help you see clearly. And, I always have everyone's best interests in mind.
Yeah, because you're trying to be realistic instead of ideological.
Even though I sometimes choose not to show it because I'm an asshole.
Yeah. I mean, it's just human things that... It's better that you could at least admit it, though. Because then you could still work on it. To the extent, There's always, like... As much as we'll sit here and know that we're not supposed to be egotistical and we're supposed to be, like... It's no... I don't know if you're religious at all, but it's no different than, like, a Christian wanting to live a sinless life. You're not going to live a fucking sinless life.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
It's like you're going to go crazy becoming...
I'm more
trying
spiritual
to
than
become...
religious.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, it's like
you're going to go crazy trying to fit yourself into that thing. It's like it's better just to be real and be who you are. And just like go from there.
Exactly.
And try to fix your flaws.
At the end of the day,
we could all... something you're not.
Yeah, we could all try to be as least egotistical as we possibly can, but we're always going to have those certain patches where you're going to be fucking egotistical.
Yeah.
Like, I can be an asshole too, and like, I try not to be. I'm not like... I feel like I'm not an asshole towards people, towards specific people, but just in general, I feel like some of the things I think or do, I can be like, fuck that, I'm an asshole, but, I don't know.
It's like you can't always be good all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that's where the balance comes in. It's like we have the darkness within us and we also have the light within us.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes we go down the dark path, but then we also have to learn from the dark path.
Yeah, you just redeem yourself
and then go back into the light. And then...
And I think that's...
I'm sure you've done plenty of good things with people.
And...
I doubt you're a complete fucking asshole. They're like, no, fuck this person, fuck that person.
And I think... Not to make this conversation about that, but like I think that's where relationships come in. Because then it's like you have that someone in your life, and I think that's why it's like so important that everybody have like someone like that in their lives. Because like, again, that's a whole other conversation, and I'm sure people can be like, that's a dick thing to assume. Like, bold of you to assume I need a relationship. But I do think, because
everybody does.
You need someone to pull you back and to push you in the right direction and pull you back.
Yeah,
you do it, and you do it for each other, and you keep each other in check, and you make each other a better person.
There's very few people that really can. Like, I'm a very independent person, but I still don't think I would be able to go life by myself
and make every right call.
Right? Yeah, you can't. You need those people to keep you in check.
Second opinion.
Right.
It's like
exactly. It's like that's why I always like try to bounce ideas off of people and stuff like that. It's just like it's just to see if like that's an actual like logical way to go.
Maybe someone will say something and it'll fucking spark something. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about it. Yeah.
It's like that's why I also like the person that I'm like in a thing with right now, because she also pulls me back sometimes, and I'll like give her an idea. It's like, okay, like, but you also got to think of this, like what you do, and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. And then it causes me to reset and rethink about it.
In the beginning of the relationship I'm in now, when we were just on like more talking terms, but we were still, a thing technically, I guess. There were so many times where like that shit could have been fucking done.
Yeah.
But like, I had to get over my own bullshit and be like, okay, let me not be a fucking dickhead. Let me admit what I'm doing wrong and realize that this is for the fucking better.
Gotta look at the big picture.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and it's like...
Even with such a simple thing.
Because I feel like we all have sticks up our assholes. Yeah. Like, we all do. We all think that we're, like, the best.
Yeah.
And that's like I was saying, it's with the like we all have that egotistical where like, I'm better than that fucking person.
We all have it, yeah.
Yeah, for sure we do. It's a just natural human...
Yeah.
I don't want to say instinct because I don't think we have instincts, but
that was like one of the biggest things that like I've learned being in a relationship. Like, don't try to win an argument. You're gonna lose.
My God, that's
it's
my biggest problem. I'm such a fucking like fuck that. I'm not letting you win.
Yeah,
I'll keep going.
Me too.
I won't apologize.
That's what ruins so
and then
much shit.
You're not gonna lose.
But it's just the women. The women always win, and then you're just like.
Yep. You're not gonna win.
Yeah, you just gotta swallow your own fucking dick for once and be like, alright, I'm done with it.
Yeah, it's just like, is this worth it right now?
Yeah.
That's just it, man. Just bend over.
Yeah, exactly. Take it up the fucking...
Shit's gonna be coming out of my ass for 2 weeks. It'll close up.
You have to make like a statement and be like, for the greater good of this relationship, I am going to speak, you know? You have to own it.
Like, sign the fucking essay you write.
Yeah.
Fucking get up on a podium and, like, put your hand over your heart. I am done with this.
Yeah. That's another thing where it's like, if you go back and forth with your like, back when you're, well, you all live at home, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm like, whoa. If you guys get into an argument with your parents... You could bark at each other all the freaking time.
Yeah.
Nothing's changing.
Mm-hmm.
You could go at each other's throats all the time. But you try going at your girlfriend's throat or your relationship. You do that the wrong way once too many times, and that could be it.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
So, it's a very different thing because like you no longer have like that security or that safety of like knowing your family is your family.
You're like, fuck.
Like you have to reel
someone's
yourself.
not gonna take my shit.
You have to like reel yourself back in and like control yourself.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah.
I learned that the hard way.
I've definitely wrecked myself.
I learned that the fucking hard way.
Yeah, it's like we've all wrecked ourselves.
Yeah.
I think we could, the three of us could say we fucking wrecked ourselves.
Fire sign life. Not the best life sometimes.
But it's a life.
Yeah, but it's a life.
It's different. Like, depending on who you're talking to, that spectrum is a different length of, like, how hard you can go.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. I still do think that not everything deserves...
to be talked about.
Well, let me try to think of what I'm like. At least, like, relationship-wise. I feel like you can't let every single thing just slide under the bus and be like, okay, let me fucking drop it.
Yeah.
Like,
Because that'll build up over time.
Yeah, I still think you still... And if you truly do think you're in the right of something, you still should voice that. But I think most of the time it is an ego thing, where you just gotta fucking get over it.
Yeah, because you could also just be like, okay, it's like, you could just, like, talk to them about it. It's like, okay, you said this thing and it made me feel this way. It's like, how do you really mean to...
Because like
come
at the end
across
of
as
the,
that,
right, it's like it doesn't matter
just being
what you
like,
fucking.
Yeah, it's just like you can't just like spring it up on them,
No.
like, and shit like that. You just gotta like talk about it.
Yeah, because you don't want them to feel like you're jumping on their throats.
Yeah,
like that you're like out to get them. You don't want to put them on the defensive, because once you put them on the defensive, it turns into an argument.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be like a give and take, It can't be like, you know, I'm confronting you because I feel that you have made me feel this way.
Yeah.
No, like it needs to be like, hey, just wanted to talk. Keep it low key, keep it casual.
Yeah.
Which I fucking suck at doing.
Yeah.
I'm such a
Me too.
I'm such a petty person. I'm like
I
I'll literally
I can be very petty.
I literally tell sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna remember that. I'm like, just so you know, that's in my fucking head.
It's like you just ingrained that in my skull.
It's like you just chiseled that shit right in my skull, and you know it's there, and I remember it. Like,
But the thing is that you guys
absolutely-
can go at each other like that though, and still be like okay with each other and shit like that, kind of. But like,
well, it depends.
I feel like
it depends.
Yeah.
Because there's sometimes where I have tried to be like, yeah, I'm gonna bring this up, and then I'm like, never mind, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done this. Like, I'm sorry, I apologize. But then, like, again, there's like some like real fucking things where it's like I am gonna remember that. But like that's every relationship, you know. I'm sure she remembers shit I've said and done.
Yeah.
I'm sure you remember. There's always like that shit that you're just
Residual
like,
crap.
yeah, exactly.
But you choose to put up with it because you know at the end of the day it's a very minuscule.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the thing is like
It's like, am I gonna get mad at them for being a little bitchy and end this relationship?
Well, yeah,
It's like, nah, I gotta let it slide.
Well, because the thing is like, I don't know about you guys, but like, I'm at the point in my life where I am not in a relationship if I think that it's going to end. Like, I'm at the point now
Me
where
too.
I've gone through that whole phase. Get it out of your system.
Yeah, dude, me too. I know exactly
that's
what
the
you're
thing,
talking about, just being a fucking man whore, just like getting it all out of your
Because
system.
I've never been like that. I've never actually given a fuck about girls like that.
Yeah, but it's not necessary though. It's just about like.
Yeah,
I feel like it's more of like a.
It's society
underlying
though.
insecurity.
It's that, and I feel like it is society too. Like, oh, if you don't hook up with someone, or you're not hooking up with like it's like your fucking body count. Like people actually will look at your body count and like judge you off of it.
Yeah,
it's like I've literally never given a fuck about.
No, neither have I though. But I'm just like, when I say that though, it's just like, you go into a relationship, and not even about all that, but just you go into a relationship and you're like, I can take it or leave it. Like, if this lasts, great. If it doesn't, all right. I'm not at a point in my life where I'm really looking for, like, the rest of my life kind of thing. But, like, now, and I think this is where, like, that tolerance comes into play, because if you go into a relation, like, in high school, typically you go into a relationship kind of knowing that more likely than not it's going to end when you graduate. Okay?
That's why I ended my first relationship, because it got to the point where I was like,
enough.
I'm fucking 17. I'm sorry,
it's like I'm
but
not marrying you.
Yeah, it's like no offense, but
I'm not. Yeah,
it's like you're the one person I've met in high school with the billions of people in the world. I'm sorry, but I don't think that's my one fucking match. For people that marry their like high school sweethearts,
go for it.
Good for fucking you.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But it's like
you're on your own path, I'm on my own fucking path.
Like,
I don't need to conform to anybody's shit.
Right.
If your relationship is really only going to last for like a year or two, then those little things that we just mentioned, like, they are going to like be a big thing.
Yeah.
But you're more likely to swallow it and just like move on if you have more confidence that the relationship is going to be a forever thing.
I feel that 100%.
Because then it's like, okay, well, on a normal day, yeah, this would really piss me off. But I know that in the grand scheme of my life and you in it,
it's a small thing.
It's such a small thing.
Yeah.
So if you have, again, like, if you have confidence in the fact that the relationship is going to be like everlasting or like a very long-term thing, you're more likely just to bite the bullet and just like swallow your pride.
That's very
and
true.
Just like shut the fuck up.
Because that's why I ended my last relationship, because I was like, it started getting to the point where I was like, yeah, I know this isn't gonna like work out, blah blah blah, and I was just sitting there, and I'm like, why am I just gonna fucking sit here if I know it's not gonna, like, it's just so stupid to deal with it when you could just fucking end it.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I've never been through any like really hookup stage. Like I've been through the stages of wanting to, but I've never really gone out and done it. I've like tried very like minuscule things just because I was like really fucking lazy with it. And then it just got to the point where I was like, fuck that. If I'm like talking to someone, I'd rather it be serious. And then like you're saying, you realize like, including we're getting out of college now, it's like, why fucking waste your time anymore?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, just have a relationship that you know is going to last for a fucking while.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or forever, even if that's the
It's
case.
nice having stability.
It is very nice having stability. Because also, I feel like it's just painting.
Your inner Capricorn's
It's
like
just
stability.
it's
stability.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's why I'm having such a hard time with my family shit, because it's like you want stability.
Yeah.
You want it. You crave it. You want, like I said, like 9 to 5. I love it.
Yeah.
I am on a routine.
You like the 9 to 5 stuff?
Well, not necessarily 9 to 5, but if it was like 7 to 3.
Just having, yeah, like you said, just having
having
the routine of like.
Dude, I like it. I like it. I like waking up at the same time every day. I like taking my shower at the same time every day. I'm not a sociomaniac though, I promise. But I like having my lunch. I like having a plan. I don't know, because at least I know that I'm doing something with my day. Whereas, like, if I'm just like, oh, I'm just sitting here, I'm not doing a goddamn thing.
That was my biggest problem with COVID was
time wasted.
Yeah, even though I knew for a fact that it was literally the biggest time to not do anything because you're not supposed to, I still was like so fucking. I felt so guilty every day of not doing something.
Really?
I'm like, yeah, because I'm like, I'm a lazy piece of shit, even outside of a COVID. Now, but now that I'm inside of it, I'm like, now I really feel like a lazy piece of shit. I'm
It's
like,
just fuck, I get that urge because I'm always just like, I gotta go. You know?
That's the thing, because like, as I do want to, but then like, I really am fucking lazy. Like, like I said, like, I'm not fucking kidding when I say I'm in my room all fucking day. And like, you've been in my room, I have such a small room, it only fits 2 beds for my brother and I, so I have like no choice but to be on my bed. And it fucking sucks, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to go outside and do anything, you know? Unless, like, we're chilling or, you know, I'm with my girlfriend or whatever, obviously. Which we do normally do things throughout the week. But when I am home, I just, like Will was saying, like, I just take that time to fucking just zen out and fucking relax and just, you know.
It's like your lion's den.
Yeah,
you're just in there, you're just like, yeah, motherfucker.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm protective, too. Like, I refuse to admit the fact that it's my brother's room too, you know, because I'm like, no, I was here first. It's my fucking room,
first,
motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm like pissing on the floor, making it my territory.
There
Not
you
that
go.
I actually do
Shit
that,
in
but
his
like,
pillowcase.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, get the fuck out.
Give him pink eye and it's mine.
Yeah.
You know. But I don't even remember where the fuck I was going with that. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, COVID and
Just like, but yeah, it's still good to have that. Yeah, it's good to have that routine. That's why, like, if this fucking when this pops off and like music, when we can make an actual fucking living out of that, I would love it. I would much rather it than a 9 to 5 job, but I'm also not pushing away like a 9 to 5 or just a normally routine job in general.
What was your major in?
I got an associate's in psychology, and now I'm business management.
Okay.
So, I don't know where the fuck I'm going with it, but I'm going somewhere. That's all I know. Like, my girlfriend already has a full-time job.
Oh, really?
So,
yeah, she's an accountant, right?
Yeah, she's an accountant.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And she
Same age?
She's a year older.
Okay.
But, she just graduated with her master's, too. So, you know, obviously, like, I'm still gonna get a job, do this shit on the side, and then just so I still have that money and just so I could get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of having such a... Because it's like so weird. My house is big, but it's very wide open, so there's still zero fucking privacy unless I'm in my room. And then even then, like, when my brother's in my room, yeah. Not that, like... Because, like, I'll catch myself. He'll come in the room and I'm like, oh, fuck. But then I'm like, it's like the first time he's been in here all day. Like, fucking relax. It's like he is in here too or whatever.
Yeah.
But I still want that just, you know.
That's what bathrooms are for.
Bro,
I take
like,
forever in the bathroom.
Me too.
I'll
Yeah,
sit in
me
the
too.
bathroom
I'll
for
bring
like
my
40
phone,
fucking minutes.
play my
Yeah.
games and shit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
When Christian
My
was
That was
legs,
like
my
my-
legs
that
will go
was-
fucking numb. I'm trying to stand up and I'm like, oh shit.
yeah.
No, that was like my little bubble. Was the
Yeah.
bathroom like dropping a shit?
Well, see, I did something smart. We only had one PlayStation, and it was in my room. My brother was always in my room. So, like, fuck this. I'm moving it downstairs. I moved it downstairs. Then he was, like, barely in my fucking room. In our room. Let me correct myself.
Yeah, dude, when I was still, like, living here, I actually wanted to, like,
Because it was
die,
probably
'cause I
worse
had-
for you. Because you
yeah.
had your own room at first, and then had, when you guys were older, had to go into,
yeah.
like, a separate thing. Like, it was kind of more of a gradual thing for me, because even when, like, they put my brother... Because he's a lot younger than me. He's 13 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he just turned 13 this year. So when he was like still an infant or whatever, they were like trying to move him into my room, but he would still like go sleep with my parents or whatever. So it's still like a slow thing that I was able to get used to. But you know, you moving, you had to like just immediately like, all right, you guys are like older, you're getting in the same room.
Yeah, and then this shit happened with my other brother, and now there's all
Yeah,
these like,
yeah.
people
Facts.
in my house and shit
Yeah,
like
all
that.
the
So it's like
nurses.
when my brother was here, it's like I had to share a room, and then my mom or my stepdad was always in another part of
Yeah.
the room, and then just some random other person in the room, and like the only place that I had was like either in the bathroom or down here. But then my stepdad would always come down here, so it was like I was always sharing something.
Yeah.
And it was like
I
there was
feel it.
never anything that was fully to me that I could just
Right.
go and just like
Yeah.
be by myself.
'Cause even-
So I was fucking having a full psychosis breakdown
Yeah,
Would you ever
and
use your
shit
car?
like that.
Because I would do that.
I would live in my car,
I would
dude.
go in
I
my
would
car.
always constantly be out of my fucking house.
That's
'cause
why-
could
I would
not
like. I would
stand
come
being
home.
here.
I would come home from work, like back when I was at the house. I would come home from work, pull up on the driveway,
You just
turn
sit there.
off my car, recline my
Yeah, you
seat, and
just
just
sit there.
chill out for
Yeah.
like a
That's
half hour.
I would do that too.
Before
would
I
always
went to the
pull
house,
up-
because I would like compose myself.
Yeah,
and,
you
like
gotta,
like prepare to go in the
before
house.
I go into
Yeah,
the
me
shit
too.
show.
You know?
Yeah, cause that's why I would always like sit in the fucking in the whatchamacallit, the fucking complex parking lots
Yeah.
and just sit there and just like smoke so
Right.
much.
Yeah, I would sit on the
fucking
side of my
weed. I would
house
just
and
sit
do that.
there and just fucking just chill there, smoke, because that was the only fucking time that I had to myself and privacy
Yeah.
and shit like that.
And that's why, like, we don't go really... Like, now we have your basement or whatever. But, like, back when the basement wasn't set up for all this. Like, neither of us would have anywhere in our houses that we could really go and hang out.
Yeah.
So we were always in a car. And I feel like every time, like... Whether it was, like, my girlfriend I'm explaining to, or, like, I'm telling my mom, or just hanging out in a car. Like, why the fuck are you in a car? I'm like, because of the privacy. Because
Yeah.
nobody else is around us. Besides the smoking. We could also bullshit. And literally do whatever the fuck we want. Like, why not? You own a car. It's literally, like, you're another room, pretty
yeah,
much.
it's literally an extension of your room.
Like, you might as well get your best fucking use out of it if you're fucking paying for it.
yeah.
Like, why are you just gonna leave it out there? Like, go chill in it. Take a drive somewhere. Who fucking cares?
That's a good point.
Yeah,
Live in it.
exactly.
Yeah. Literally.
I haven't had to live in my car. If anything, I would just go to my dad's, because, you know, he obviously wouldn't have a fucking problem with me.
Yeah.
But that just comes down to me now. Like I was saying before, I'm just like protective, so I'm like, fuck, I don't want to like leave my sisters and my mom, because my brother's still young. He's not gonna fucking do anything if he has to fucking do something. Like,
That's crazy that that's even on your mind too.
yeah, I know. That's why it's like
insane.
fucked. It's because like at the
That's
end
why I
of,
got my brother out of the house before I fucking left.
Did
Yeah.
you take him with you when you went?
Yeah.
yo, you
that
pulled the,
took- 'cause
the
I pulled him
swindle
out.
of the century,
Yeah, dude, I fucking pulled him out of my room, brought him to my dad's,
and then you
moved
moved back.
Got
That's
my own
amazing.
fucking room.
Yeah, would that qualify as like kidnap or no?
Yo, you,
I don't know.
you literally just
We gotta look at the
you
legal
made your
papers
brother
of that.
move.
Yeah, I don't
The
know.
legal
man.
papers. Look it up.
Yeah.
You're coming with me.
You coming with me. Yeah,
Get in the car.
Yeah, but that shit.
It was for
fucking
good
crazy as
reason
fuck.
though.
I didn't expect to come back here. It just happened.
Yeah,
but-
that's also
How
a
quick?
fact.
That was pretty quick.
Yeah. It's
I wasn't
fucking
surprised though. I was like,
I was just so
of course.
confused.
I was like, you know,
I was so confused because I was like watching all that like just from your stories, and I'm like, wait, where the fuck are you now? Like I
Yeah.
thought,
wild. Yeah, literally.
it's literally just a big
Because it
adventure.
happened so fucking fast. out of
Yeah.
It was. It
nowhere.
was very fast. It happened out of nowhere, and then like the whole thing happened out of nowhere. Like the initial thing, And then every time that we get deeper, it was just like still just like, oh, this happening, that's happening. It's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was so fucking.
Because
wild,
I was fooled. I thought for the first time you were gonna have this like, not peaceful, but something better for you, and then it literally just ended up being for the complete worst.
Bro, the universe likes
is that what happened? It was
joke
it was
with me.
worse there.
Yeah, it was like that. It was so fucking weird. It was either that I stay
It was a
here.
concentration camp.
Yeah, literally.
I can't believe you
did I
did the
tell you-
Hitler salute.
Yeah, did I tell you
remember
what I
that
did
killed me.
like on my last day that when I left my dad's?
No.
So I fucking so then,
What was it? Was there a maid there or some shit that
yeah,
tried to do it?
his maid was there, and then like
Was this an apartment or a house?
he's in an apartment, so like
Okay.
you go into there and there's like
I feel
everybody's
like it's like an
around
apartment
you.
house. Like once you enter, it's like another realm, and
Yeah.
it's like you just entered a house. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's so fucking weird, but like pretty much that. It was either that when I go to my dad's, it was like I get everything that I want, but I lose myself, or that I stay here and I have myself and I don't have everything I want. So I chose myself.
Yeah.
And then my dad was like, oh, you have everything that you need here, but you have to do everything that we say. But if I'm at my mom's house,
and your stepmom, or
yeah, my dad and my stepmom
Okay.
and shit like that. So then pretty much I was like, oh, you guys are pretty much just Hitler right now and shit like that. So then they were like
what
trying
was
to
it
like get
Did
me
they
to
like
like
sit you
throw.
down? Did they sit you down and like put the ground rules on the table? Like these are the rules, you must obey them. Like how quickly did you realize what it was going to become?
Because I saw like stages of it, but then my stepmom was like pretty much just like talking shit behind my back and like
About
pretty
you?
much just like yeah, and then like just like telling my dad things. She never like specifically came to me and told me things, but they were like making it like so fucking like hard about all this stuff, and then they were like it was just so fucking weird, and then like I was just like fuck this. So then I like I don't know, they were just being so fucking, like...
Hitler-esque.
Yeah, like, literally just, like, Hitler-esque, and just, like... I told them to pretty much fuck off, and then as I was leaving... As I was leaving, I looked at him, and then I literally just screamed on my Heil Hitler, and I fucking clicked my heels together, and I put the Hitler salute out, and I just fucking left. And
You
I
clicked your...
yeah, I was just like...
I think that's
was
what
like,
got me. Like when you said you clicked your heels, that's like that makes
Yeah.
it real.
I fucking clicked my heels together and just did the Hitler salute and,
And then you were just
Heil Hitler,
out.
and I just left.
You were
Yeah.
out of there.
Out of
Yeah.
the doors. That's great.
I was like, yo.
So then what was it like coming home? Like, was your mom like, well, that was quick.
Yeah, was it like an "I told you so" type of thing? With
like
them?
was she expecting you to come home?
No, because I wasn't talking to my mom at that point. I
Oh.
wasn't talking to my mom or my stepdad at that point. And then, like, I was living in my car and shit like that. And I think that I stopped home and I, like, told my mom what happened. And then she was just like,
Right.
oh, okay, you can, like, live it here and shit like that. And she was, like, mad awkward for, like, the longest fucking time. And then, whatever, got fixed. So
Yeah.
then,
It was crazy.
yeah. It was some crazy shit. I didn't even expect to come back here.
No, I didn't
Really?
either. I literally thought you were like, I thought you.
I didn't
were good.
expect her to offer me to come back and shit like
Oh,
that.
really?
Because of, like, all the shit that went down.
Well, it's funny you say that too, because I've been asked by people if I think that my mom is going to like come to the table a second time and be like, actually, I think I messed that up. Let's go out again and try to do it right the second time. And I'm like, no, I think that was what that was.
Yeah, like, that was the end
That
of
was
it.
the one time. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy though.
Yeah.
And your brother is happy here, or was he like? How did he feel at the other place?
I think that my brother just hates everywhere that he goes to because
everything
he
and
also
everyone.
he's like me that he sees all the bullshit and stuff like that.
When you,
but like
when
the
you
thing is
sent
that
me
he's
recently,
gonna.
I was surprised when you sent me what he. I forget what it was. You sent me like some texts between.
Oh,
you
that we
two.
have the pact to kill me. Yeah,
Yeah.
so me, my brother, and my cousin, we all have a pact to kill each other if we end up becoming like our fathers. So that it's just like, if my cousin acts like his dad first, we're gonna kill him.
Okay.
And then if I act like my dad, my brother's
They're
gonna
both gonna
kill...
kill you.
Yeah. And then it's just like, my brother's like, if both of you act like like you're like if like me and my cousin both turn into our dads, he's gonna kill them both and then kill himself so he can just end the fucking like.
Oh yeah, so
bloodline.
so there's no more Sicilian bloodline.
Yeah, I was like, we're gonna pretty much pull like a like
Cleanse
Hitler,
the world.
like Hitler's kids. It's just like when they all like fucking unanimously decided
Yeah,
to
not to have kids
kill
themselves.
yeah kill themselves and not have kids to end the bloodline. So that was just like I was like, that's so fucking
That's
funny.
funny, but like really fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was like, I don't know. Yeah, he's like me that he just like sees the shit, but he's more willing to conform just for like.
He'll take it.
Yeah, just for the sake
some-
of that.
yeah,
But I'm not that
smooth
type
riding.
of person. I'm just like, nah. I'm like, I don't take that shit. Like I'd rather.
No.
Yeah, it's like I'd rather
Well,
have
'cause
my
you know,
own
he
personal
also-
integrity than.
I mean, your brother, like my brother, they also escape to fucking video games.
Yeah.
And just get themselves in a different world. So it's like, I guess you can conform and then just do that and it doesn't even fucking matter in the end. Which it's still very unhealthy.
Yeah.
But, you know, theoretically it works, I guess.
Yeah, because this thing is just that like he's just gonna like mind his own business, stay there, grind, and then just get the
Right.
fuck out.
Yeah.
But I'm just like I'd rather be
He
homeless.
uses fucking Bitcoin money to
and
get
shit.
that.
Yeah.
How many years younger is he?
He's 2 years younger.
Okay.
It still feels like he's so much younger than you. At least to me.
Yeah.
Every time I think of it, I think of like to me, I guess.
Yeah. Was she like 3 or 4 years?
She's like
younger?
3 years,
Yeah.
yeah. Which I guess still isn't even that much, but you know.
That's crazy.
But yeah, this concludes the Wrath of Aquarius podcast. We do episodes Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, and please like and comment down below of stuff that you want us to go deeper into. Thank you for Alex
Thanks,
for being
Thank you,
here.
Alex.
We appreciate it.
Anytime.
This
Fuck
was a good
yeah.
one. This
was
was
a very good
I really liked
podcast.
this
I
one.
Because
enjoyed
I'm
this
here.
a lot.
It's
Yeah,
because
dude.
I'm here.
Yeah, dude.
That's why.
You added the energy to this shit.
Yeah,
'cause-
that's a fact. Well, you knew what you were
Anytime you
doing.
guys want me back, I'm glad to do it.
Fuck yeah,
So
bro.
peace out, guys. This is podcast something. I don't even fucking remember what it was.
Fucking 8 or 9, I think. Or 9 or 10.
9.
9?
Might be 9. But
One
yeah.
of those.
Bye.